want to smell my candle? I'm Travis Terrell. Welcome to We Are Live.
Solid open. Chris Simmons, Travis Terrell. It's We Are Live. We are here in Grand Center in Midcoast Studio. Check out midcoast.media for more information. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know you haven't yet. There's like 3 of you that have. I'm getting real upset.
Get him, Chris.
Got thousands of you following across all platforms. Just click a little follow, subscribe on YouTube. That's how it works.
There you go, Chris. Show that ass.
Excited to be here. Kicking things off today. We will jump right in, but we also have some fun later on. One-on-one, myself and Ian Finance. He was in town this past weekend with David Tell. Had some great stories in that, so be sure to stick around for that conversation. But first, let's say hello to the Witcher's stepbrother, Chris Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Oh, I see it now. I see the Witcher. Hey, Gardner.
Good
Boy.
morning, walnuts.
There it is. Put the nuts on the wall.
You're moving at 1.5, or at, no, half speed.
Yeah.
Like
not
if you
1.5.
slow down a podcast.
Uh-huh.
So then, like I see it in your eyes and your movement and everything.
I got medicine in me still.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Are you gonna?
I don't know what I took last night.
What?
I took like 5 pills at once
Oh, Jesus.
of stuff. Took a couple more this morning.
Oh, God. Did you know this morning what you were taking?
Yeah.
Okay. But last night, not so much. Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Did you get on the right bus this morning?
I did.
Okay. So they must work.
Yeah, I feel good.
Okay.
Feel real good.
Oh, boy.
World's just kind of
Shit.
here.
This is the Chris Gardner.
I like that.
I thought this was the Chris Gardner we would see one day.
It's not as real as it usually
Oh,
is.
shit.
So
how's
I'm just kind of floating.
You're an agent of chaos and you're currently unemotional?
I can be emotional.
You're unattached.
I'm able to think clear,
Oh, God.
reflect more, and not feel when I reflect.
Jesus Christ.
It's comforting. You should try it.
I tried to hire Hoffman, but no, you wanted to go with the eccentric guy.
I don't think you would have fared well with Hoffman running a show that you were on.
That's a good point.
I think he'd
That's an
have,
absolutely good point.
he'd have rode you like a donkey.
Yeah, he probably would have, no doubt about it.
People ride donkeys?
Yeah, they still do.
Oh yeah, it's not a comfortable ride. They're more of a pack animal.
A burro?
Yeah.
You can ride a donkey though.
Yeah.
I've seen people ride mules as well.
Have you ridden one?
I've been on top of a mule, I want to say. One of the giant, that's the big ones. Yeah. I've been on top of one of those. And as a joke, I kind of rode around on a little donkey once, but not
How old were you?
under 10.
Oh.
You were thinking of like drunk 23-year-old me.
I
like,
think
Yeah.
that's what we were hoping for.
no, sorry. With a sombrero and a
Yeah.
painted on mustache.
Oh,
So you could let that resurface.
Jesus.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
You got something like that that could resurface?
No, I don't.
Say we can get some fans on the YouTube page if that worked.
I don't
Yeah?
think I do. I'm sure I have some compromising photos, but it would just be like, oh, there's drunk Gardner.
Yeah.
It'd be stuff like that.
Another 15 screwdrivers in. Here he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I wish I could find the photo that was taken of me after I fell on my face.
Oh,
That's
Gardner,
nice.
that's not something you want a photo
No, I
of.
mean, it was bad.
Yeah, we figured it would be when you fall on your face.
Yeah, I went face first into the sidewalk,
Well, yeah, sidewalk
tripped,
usually
and
wins.
just like a tree.
Uh-huh. Trees are undefeated, too.
And then like my tooth cut my lip, and I looked like the Phantom of the Opera.
Uh-huh.
But the thing that scared me was that I healed really quick,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, "Oh my
There we
God,
go.
I'm gonna live forever. This is terrible."
Relax, Logan.
Doomed. Just
My theory was that it was all the vodka and orange juice I had been drinking.
Yes.
preserved you.
It's
Yeah.
Like I
exactly.
said, the beef jerky example.
Yeah.
It keeps.
It's the potatoes and the sweetness of an orange.
Once your
that-
body adapts to it, then you
Yeah.
just become. "Oh, it's a fountain of youth."
Before we get into it too wild, let's say thanks to our friends at Gastro Pit. They host
Gastro
comedy
Pit!
with us every Thursday. They've got great barbecue, great specials. They do catering, and they're even throwing a Super Bowl party. So you can hang out there. You can get food. You can
Nice.
get takeout. The barbecue's exquisite. And this Thursday, we've got another rowdy show for you. Starts at 8:30. Stop by, have some fun.
All right.
Snick snack on the pulled pork nachos because, oh, doctor.
Snickety snack.
That's right. Don't you forget it. Lots to get
You're
to
doing
today.
a lot of cutesy words today.
I don't know
I
why.
like it.
A lot? Well, what have I said?
Then you did like scribe or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Subscribe.
I said subscribe, follow,
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah.
Trying to relate,
to
That's
the
me.
youth.
Yep.
Relatable
Mr. Pop
Chris.
Culture over here.
I know.
Mr. Approachable is what my other nickname is.
Oh.
hmm Yeah, that's right. You guys probably didn't see much of this, but the Astros. No, bad.
Big scandal in
Did it
Major
again.
League Baseball as the Houston Astros. They have been under an investigation from Major League Baseball in regards to allegations that they were using technology, essentially, using a camera out in center field to spy on signals and then indicate what is coming in regards to a pitch to the players via a monitor in the bullpen hallway. Excuse me, the dugout hallway, I should say. Excuse me, not bullpen. But nevertheless, Major League Baseball issued out their punishments yesterday and fired our A.J. Hinch, the manager of the ball club, general manager, and president of baseball operations, Jeff Lunau. They were initially suspended for an entire year. Astros fined $5 million, and they would lose their first and second round picks in the 2020 and 2021 draft. And there's sounds like there's going to be more to come for the Red Sox manager Alex Cora, who apparently created the system, according to the report. Took it to Boston. Cora was involved in developing both the banging scheme and utilizing the replay review room to decode and transmit signs. Cora participated in both schemes, and through his active participation implicitly condoned the player's conduct. I will withhold determining the appropriate level of discipline for Cora until after DOI completes its investigation of the allegations that the Red Sox engaged in impermissible electronic sign stealing in 2018 while Cora was the manager.
That's from Rob Manfred, the commissioner.
Chris, we talked about this a couple months ago, right after the World Series. It was Friars, I believe, Mike Fiers, who's now, I believe, a pitcher out in Oakland, who was on the podcast and essentially said, oh, yeah, the Astros, they out here. They doing the most with the technology and the cheating. Major League Baseball decided to take a look into these accusations, and boy, oh boy, did they find a lot, apparently. And it looked like the A.J. Hinch and just Jeff Lunau were going to be gone for a year. Astros, with the suspension for a year. And then less than 20 minutes after the announcement of the suspension, Jim Crane, owner of the Houston Astros, held a press conference to tell the world that he has fired his manager and president of baseball operations.
Field manager.
I thought the punishment should have been severe when they brought up the accusations. I remember saying specifically, if this is true, Major League Baseball has to come down with a hammer. Now, there are some players and other people in the game who thought they should have gone a step further than they were going to by maybe removing the 2017 World Championship banner from the Houston Astros, stripping them of the title.
Yeah.
I think you're going to find – I am going to push back against that. But I'm okay with –
Yeah, I've always thought vacating stuff was
kind of silly.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like, I watched it happen.
Yeah, we all know what happened.
Yeah, so
they're not going to replay it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the vacating stuff I've never really been into. I did see the Dodgers release a statement.
Oh, my God. You want to see the Vegas of Vegas stage? Can I read it?
Yeah.
I'll look it up. Go ahead and just give Chris
Because-
a general idea.
I've seen it.
Oh, you've
They
seen
were,
it? Okay.
They were, I guess, told not to really comment on this situation because there's still an ongoing investigation involving Alex Cora and such. So they basically released a statement explaining that they can't comment on particulars, especially the 2017 World Series.
Let's give everybody a little bit of context here. The Dodgers, of course, lost out to the Red Sox and the Houston Astros for the World Series championship. And here's their statement they released late last night. All clubs have been asked by Major League Baseball not to comment on today's punishment of the Houston Astros, as it's inappropriate to comment on discipline imposed on another club. The Dodgers have also been asked not to comment on any wrongdoing during the 2017 World Series and will have no further comment at this time. Here's my problem with that. If I paid X, Y, and fucking Z for World Series tickets to support Major League Baseball,
Oh, you're making it about you.
I'm making it about the fan. The fan absolutely. I need a statement, damn it. If you're telling me the severity of this crime, I need more than this.
Then go
as
to
a fan.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's,
Well, I want
that
both.
reeks. That
Well, go to Major League Baseball.
reeks
That's-
of-
This is the owners have
But
decided what they.
but you're telling. But we
No.
already know the owners have more power. Why can't an owner just say, "Man, fuck you"?
because they're a group of owners. They're a group.
they
It's a
open
business.
themselves up to litigation.
To comment on.
Well,
I
yeah.
guess I'm confused. You guys have to break it down for me. I don't
No, it's
understand.
pretty simple. They agreed not to say anything. It's a group of owners
This
that
is-
run a
this
thing
either-
together.
But
This either reeks of being a company man,
Right.
like we're talking about, of saying, hold strong, we've got other stuff coming down the pipe, and or we've analyzed this and it doesn't help us one bit if
Or-
you say anything.
Or you
Okay.
could be non-emotional and not feign outrage.
I'm not feigning outrage.
And see that there's a possibility of a long game here where there is shade being thrown by the Dodgers immediately
I agree.
to where they could possibly down the line have a little bit more to say.
Okay.
Or
Because they obviously, if it was as simple as not making a comment, they wouldn't have made a statement to begin with,
Yeah,
right?
that's also
What
true.
they were able to do is get out the information
And put
that
the
we
pressure
are
on the
not
owners
supposed to
MLB.
comment in particular
On
on
this
the World Series. So that's out there, and that
Okay.
now raises questions,
I-
right?
yeah, you're right.
So
You're
now
right.
reporters can go explore this curious
Okay.
statement.
Okay. My
not
bad.
statement.
My bad. Thank
So that's
you.
all,
Sorry.
Travis.
Oh, sorry.
there's
I
another,
just-
They just
one more.
They have to
Sorry.
let. They're might not able to do it themselves right now.
Okay.
So they're kind of nudging others to go
I
find out.
think my bad. I
It's
think-
kind of like Deep Throat.
I got anxious because I'm pissed for Dodgers fans. Because I'm pissed for Dodgers
Okay.
fans because as a St. Louis Rams fan, I am where they are right now. And so, look, I think I heard a commentator bring up this point, and I'm curious to get you guys' opinion on this. Is baseball the dirtiest of all the major sports? As far as cheating is concerned, across the board historically. I am willing to say
It depends, because here's the thing. What's cheating in each sport is going to be different.
okay.
So it's hard to make those
Well,
comparisons.
let's
To
look
me,
at
it's
some of the
amplified.
bigger cheating scandals and moments in each
So,
sports
but
history.
what do you, we're talking about sign stealing here, right?
Yes.
And
Well,
that-
in this instance, for baseball. Yes.
And so if this is the biggest scandal, sign stealing,
Well, it's not the
So-
biggest scandal. I'm saying it's on a compare this big scandal next to the steroid scandal, next to the Black Sox scandal,
Yeah.
next to Pete Rose betting on baseball scandal. Like comparing scandals in major sports, does one now get the picture that baseball is the dirtiest of
the
all the
NFL
sports?
had a serial killer.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
The
You know what I'm
NFL
saying?
had O.J. Simpson.
Yes, they did.
They might be a little more violent.
I'm saying-
now,
I'm saying,
the thing
right.
is, those aren't necessarily on-field
Field things, right?
So that's why it's hard to
So
determine.
we got to say cheating. Maybe is this the
So
most
you have,
cheating
you
in
have
this
to narrow it down
sport?
to on-field
on-field dirty
behavior.
play?
Yeah, I mean, so you're also asking, like in a scrum, like what happens then? Like in football, is that cheating? Is that dirty? You're asking dirty, right? That's dirty.
Does that give you a competitive advantage?
Well, I'm sure it might.
It may.
But in terms of
We're talking competitive advantage,
the romantics involved,
and then using
of-
technology. I don't recall
because scandals have a certain romanticism to them. To people.
True, very true.
Baseball has always lent itself to that, and annoyingly so to some at times. So I think baseball is going to come out on top simply because of that.
Okay.
I mean, when you look at the Black Sox scandal,
Oh boy.
even that involves St. Louis, even.
Yeah. That involved actual mobsters.
Yeah, like they were trying to do it the year before. A guy in was it Compton Heights?
Mm-hmm.
There's a house over there, and the guy who was trying to get things organized was shot dead in front of his house by his mistress, and they had to wait a year. So like, there's stuff like.
But then we're talking like a
baseball's-
competitive advantage. We often about baseball and cheating.
I mean,
we're talking
Spygate's
about
pretty hard though. I mean,
Spygate is very
Spygate's
difficult.
probably on the same level, right?
I say Spygate's on this level, absolutely.
of course.
And I think the NFL failed miserably at their punishment.
They destroyed evidence.
Yes. And that's why
So
I
now
kind
I'm going NFL. How about that?
So that's fair. But that's why I kind of freaked out about the Dodgers statement, because I'm like, hey, I don't want this to be a sweep it under the rug, let's move on situation like they did with the Patriots. And I think that's why the Patriots continue to do what they did recently in Cincinnati. I think they're just a organization that has to cheat. It's a cheating culture.
Yeah.
And so that's why I don't want that to permeate
Well,
anymore in baseball,
have you
because you're already
seen-
struggling getting fans to support. Don't do anything to fuck that up.
Have you seen any other statements from any other teams?
No, we have not.
There's a reason only one
Yes.
team made a statement.
That's
right?
fair.
Or
That made
outside of
this-
the Astros
right,
and stuff like
right.
that. And they made it in a way on purpose.
Yeah.
So
That's good, and I just don't sweep this under the rug.
'Cause
I
you
just
saw
don't be like, oh, this is just baseball.
yeah,
You
Well,
can't do that.
and I don't think that's going to happen because
Okay.
you're going to see Alex Cora is not going to have a job.
I don't think Alex Cora is gonna be in baseball for a
Yeah,
while.
he might not be. He's gone from the Red Sox.
Yeah,
you
he's
should
not.
assume
They're
that's the
gonna have
case.
to. He's probably gone maybe after this show.
But you saw a lot of reports of people talking anonymously to other executives throughout baseball, and they were pissed they weren't hit hard enough, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to go. It's not going to.
Just go away.
It's not going to
Okay.
fly like that.
Okay.
Because you're seeing the reaction within the game from others, and the Astros just don't have any leverage here. They
David
have
Freese,
nothing.
who was part of that Dodgers team, he was one of the very first vocal big voices I heard in baseball, and he was like, "Get that ring back, Jack. That shit don't count." Didn't really expect the punishment to be this harsh. Good for Major League Baseball stepping up. Still don't know what's more frustrating, though. An ex-teammate of the World Series title team talking publicly about his team cheating, or so many guys being down to use a damn trash can. LOL, should take the ring. I agree with Freeze. First of all, your bitch ass waited till you left the organization to decide to snitch and do something about it. And then so many guys were just down with letting it happen. I'm with David Freeze 100%. I know it may be difficult, and I would imagine the Players Association, Chris, would have gotten involved, the Players Union, but I'm surprised no players got suspended.
Yeah.
And I know that would be difficult maybe to yes, and yet you're right. But
Well, it seems like they're not
said in the
going
report,
to.
there's not. It looks like it's not coming forward.
Like
that
one
they're
of the
gonna do
players
it.
that could have been is now a manager, and that's
Carlos Beltran, and he all but technically admitted in an interview that they did it. So it's
The weird part of it to me is, I'm trying, because it makes me curious about the dynamic in Houston, and maybe I've misread a clubhouse in ways,
How
but
so?
I don't think that's the case.
How so? What was your read on the Astros, and what's your read
it's
on
just
them now?
when you see the report and it talking about how AJ Hinch knew, but he wasn't like the mastermind or created or facilitated this. It was Cora and others, as they said, lower level baseball ops guys.
Right.
But that Hinch knew, but was frustrated by the scheme itself to the point where he's like broke the monitors twice to where they had to be replaced. I'm like, well, you're the manager though. Why can't you just go and say enough?
Exactly.
And like that's where I was
that
like, I'm
and
like,
their
I
explanations,
mean, that's
Gardner.
that's being a player's manager to an extreme, if you want to categorize it that way. But I just found that part curious. I'm like, well, then what are you doing, man? I mean, you could go and say, you're the manager here,
I think what really
field manager.
what the thing that was more troubling for me was how those two, at least through their statements, came off as playing dumb, come off like AJ Hinch. Oh, I said no to it, but I allowed it to happen. You're the fucking manager, bro.
He's probably mad at himself now.
So I don't understand. Like you if you're pissed, if you run a business and you see something you don't like,
Well, he's probably not being forthcoming.
stop it.
Currently, he's probably. It's easy to say you don't like something now when you're hoisting a World Series trophy
Right.
head up over your head. Oh, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Well,
So
and
it
part
is-
of it too, I think that and it's not even just the statement. It's Hinch's comments before that in news
Yeah.
conferences when it was
He was
coming
very
up.
indignant about it. Very
Yeah.
indignant about
So I
it.
think that taking that attitude towards it impacts like how we view it now too.
Yeah.
You have the ability of hindsight at this point, and he doesn't come across looking good. And I know we talked a lot. We were off the air yesterday, but and I was thinking about this some more last night. I wonder where and what Chris Correa was doing when he found out.
I know what he was doing after.
Well, but here's the thing. As I'm reading more about him and where he stands, I went through some of his tweets too and what he's liked and stuff in the past year or so. He seems like a guy who's really moved on.
What you would have to, I think. Look, I don't know Chris Correa, and the Chris Correa for context is the former scout for the St. Louis Cardinals, who basically infiltrated a multi-million-dollar scouting system of the Houston Astros while he was with the St. Louis Cardinals, which of course is illegal in this
He used
country.
a password.
Used
He used the
Sorry,
password that hadn't been changed.
And
Yeah.
so, nevertheless, he ended up getting found guilty. He pled guilty and did what, 2 years?
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5 in a minimum security prison. Currently at a halfway house, I believe, or was at a halfway house.
He's out of prison.
He's out of prison
Yeah.
now completely.
He's done.
And I would imagine, like,
If you do a simple white pages search on the internet, you'll come across his name in Marina Del Rey, California.
nice. It's a beautiful, very nice place we've been. I know for him, he's probably over it, but there has to be a small bit of satisfaction, only in that he essentially, in his
And what I
quote
should
unquote
say-
defense, he essentially was like, look, Jeff Lunau's a son of a bitch. This guy, I did it because, and not to say it was right, his justification was, I did it because this is a sneaky bastard. This is a guy that's very shady, and I believe he also did something to compromise the organization I work for. Now, obviously, I would suggest never go to the illegal means in which he went. However, I think he kind of maybe had an inkling of what Jeff Lunau was about. And again, just looking at his statement, Chris, Jeff Lunau playing the, I take responsibility, but I didn't come up with it, and I didn't know it was happening, and if I knew something, I would have did it. You knew. Don't. If you're telling me right now that you did not know in some capacity or hadn't heard, I call bullshit, because you're considered by your peers and people who have worked for you one of the biggest micromanagers in the game. You're a guy that's in tune with almost everything that goes on in that organization. Don't give me the, I don't know if I heard there was a monitor. That's bullshit. I don't buy it, and that leads me to believe that you knew more about it and that you were more involved than you're leading on.
Yeah, and I don't want to portray that I have any idea what Chris Correa is thinking. No, none of us do.
No. But you would imagine there's a little bit of...
Well, no, that's for you though. You're projecting
True.
yourself.
I am projecting.
And
I would be.
I would be doing the same. But we don't know where he is.
True.
We got a little bit of a glimpse as to where his life seemed to be heading when you guys spoke with, was it Ben Ryder of Sports Illustrated who wrote the
Who did
piece
the piece on him.
several years ago. You had him on the radio show. I went back through that piece last night because I wanted to see.
If he gave an opinion or anything.
I wanted to go back and see some context of what was going on. And a lot of it was talking about his life going forward and what happened. It wasn't a ton about the scandal itself. It was about what life was like for him in prison, what he's learned, and what he plans to do with it.
Did he go into that much? Like his life in prison?
Yeah.
Just boring?
Yeah, and that's the thing that he said surprised him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I guess, at that level of a minimum security is like there's really no guidance on what to do.
It's just kind of
And
like,
so-
hey, you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he took time, I guess, during his time there, when people, because he knew how to do certain things computer-wise and all that, people in there were taking advantage of having him there, and he used it as an opportunity for himself to help them get documents and stuff like birth certificates and this. Send
Busy
people,
work.
Yeah. They did mock job fairs, and he was doing that with people to help
That's
them when
cool.
they get. So he really had seemed to be turning his analytics eye even, towards the criminal justice system. So that's, I started thinking about, like, him yesterday and some last night, but I went through the article, and then there's still the one part that sticks out to me. It says Correa felt he had moved past rancor toward not only the Astros but also Major League Baseball and even St. Louis. While it has always been difficult to believe that no one else within the Cardinals at least knew what Correa had been up to, investigators didn't identify a co-conspirator, and only Correa was individually punished. And it later says, but Correa no longer has the desire to relitigate who had done what. What I've endured, I'm not going to wish on anyone, he says. Nobody I know is a bad enough person.
Let me tell you something. That's a guy who kept his effing mouth shut. Who
But
could've-
not a snitch!
Could have gotten a lighter sentence, could have made himself appear to look better, and guys like Jeff Luenhow do the exact opposite. If Jeff Luenhow is going to play the I'm in charge of everything card, well then say that. And if you're going to say, I didn't know jack about it, they got it by me, and I know you guys think I'm a genius, but I missed this one, then you don't get to also say this is the fault of the player. He straight up blamed the players, which could be totally true. He could be dead on true with who did it. But in your statement, you don't get to say, I take full responsibility, and then back it up.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
one or the other,
Right.
because he thinks in this moment that's going to save him some face. But in reality, either blame the players and go full on, I'm sorry, but this has nothing to do with me, and I'm going to fight my ass off because you guys screwed me, or stay quiet, and then people are going to respect you more in
And
the
you
future.
can even scratch the surface a little with that. You can say, okay, but and everyone knows your win-at-all-cost mentality, and that's
Right.
been discussed. It was
Right.
even admonished
Right.
by the commissioner within the report.
Right.
Created a culture that allowed that to develop to
Exactly,
begin with. I mean, you can
exactly.
take different steps and levels and kind of extrapolate some other thoughts that allowed this to happen because of you. So, I mean, I think that's fair as well. Instead
Yeah,
of just thinking on the surface, you can see how it leads to other things because of how you conducted yourself and how you conduct your organization.
So true. We are talking Astros talk. We've got plenty to get to. It's hashtag what's your sign?
Oh, yes. Astrology. What's your sign?
Perfect. I will say that Gateway Powder Coating's not going to steal any signs.
Oh.
You a fan of theirs, Gardner?
Well, if they have signs,
You could
get it
powder coat
powder
them.
coated.
Right. The Astros could have powder coated those trash
They
cans.
should
used,
have.
Made them a little less noticeable. GatewayPowderCoat.com is the website. They're the #1 resource for powder coating in the Midwest. Huge shout out to Mark, Alex, and the gang. Very, very customer friendly. They do it all. If you guys have metal furniture, you have maybe a smoker that needs touched up, some patio furniture, any kind of fencing, anything metal, you can paint it, you can powder coat it. Take it to them and check out the website, GatewayPowderCoat.com. Their Facebook page, also a good follow. They've got a lot of cool posts that shows their work and all the interesting projects they get to take on. So again, big thanks to Gateway Powder Coating. Royce in the comments, this is a harsh punishment for sign stealing. You guys agree?
No. I think once you brought technology into it, we're not just talking, yo, man, look down that way, look at what this guy is doing. We're talking about using technology to create an entire scheme. You're talking about beating trash cans. You're talking about cameras in the stairwell. Like, that's a bridge too far.
None of them are in prison.
None of them are in prison. You're correct. And
And you
Correa,
could assign that. You could assign that. That's what they got. Our friend Thatcher, who gives us a lot of trouble, he made the point of one time in a call saying, if you steal proprietary information in the business world, you get in trouble. That's why they justified Chris
Yeah.
Correa getting
Right,
in trouble. I
right.
thought it was horseshit.
They assigned a
but I
number
understood it.
of
Right.
$1.7 million.
so why
to
couldn't you
that.
not assign a
let's-
number to all the, like, so why couldn't you assign a number if I'm, say,
They don't have the prison space.
Yeah.
My God, you could assign a $30 million loss
to this?
to-
Yeah. So that's when I'm just, and I know no one's going to go to jail
They
if
would
I'm not.
have trouble figuring out what that.
Right.
Now
Drilling
they're going to
down.
have. They had trouble figuring out the Correa number as well. But this is a little bit more convoluted.
Yeah.
To
Can
make
I
a
s-
case
can I-
for,
can
where
I-
the Correa one was a simple it was one person. They were able to target. Prosecutors were looking to make a splash.
Right.
And they could do
Yes.
it with one person.
And a low-profile, low-income, relative to.
It became a high profile. It was going to be in the media all the time, so they were going. And
He
they,
does not have the means to hire a dream team.
and they knew they were going to have. They had them.
Look, we're talking end game here to the commenter's
Bring up
point.
Marvel again? Can we talk sports for a minute?
End game. When you're, I know we use technology to study film and to break down pitches and habits of a pitcher. But we're talking about in the middle of the game, man, while it's actually happening. You're essentially
I mean,
to gain a
yeah,
particular
it's
advantage.
different because
it's
there are guys that are going to look at video in the middle of the game.
Right?
But
right.
it's different than what you're
Right,
saying.
that's why for me it's a little bit more egregious because I think the game has accommodated levels of technology. I think the game as it evolves gets better at
I think
accommodating
they're
technology.
still trying to find their way.
Right.
And when you deliver harsh penalties like this, it is also people that are fearing change a little bit because you're like,
True.
oh, technology. Ah! There are people like that, especially as you get older.
You're right. The technology is
And
currently
so-
ahead of the game right now, and I think Major League Baseball is
So
going
when
to
you
go,
fear
whoa,
it-
whoa, 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 whoa.
How do we figure this out?
Right.
So they're trying to figure out their along
they
the way
should.
while it's, I mean, I'm sitting here talking about hologram strike zones. Well, they're talking about robot strike zones. I mean, they're already behind the game. So when it's something like that and you're trying to find your way, I'm not going to say get it right or wrong in this instance. You're finding your way. You don't know what that is
Can
necessarily.
I ask you a question then? Because
No.
I heard this. Damn it! I did it
Yeah.
again.
You gave him a, you gave him-
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Fact is, if you were, say, a veteran like a Justin Verlander, a guy that would probably maybe be considered the quote-unquote captain of that team, and you knew this was going on, do you feel obligated as a player
I can't answer
to
that.
stop it? And see, that's what I'm curious.
I can't
think
answer. I can't put myself in Justin Verlander's
I'm
shoes.
curious,
I don't.
if an Adam
I
Wainwright
put
knew
my
this was
face
going
on
on,
his
would
face in one of those Kate Upton
yeah,
pictures.
you did, and it was pretty hot.
Did you?
But
Oh, you don't know the story?
How'd it feel?
hold on.
No.
But the fact is,
Side note.
my question is, Adam Wainwright. We know him as by all accounts,
Let's see.
very positive, good guy, all about being
think you know.
fair person of the game. But so I'm curious.
That's
is,
what he puts out there.
but
to be fair.
are the players okay? I guess is essentially my question with this behavior, and it feels like they were okay with it.
Only they can
Ruthless.
answer that.
These are ruthless competitors. Ruthless competitors. They're looking at this from what it appears.
So they don't
because
see it as
didn't have
cheating or as a
whistleblowers.
competitive advantage, or both.
We don't see whistleblowers in this case for the most part, right?
There's no whistle.
There's no whistleblower.
I wouldn't give him the whistleblower card because I think he did it for self-serving purposes.
So-
does it matter if it's self-serving though? If he's
Did
a
he do the
whistleblower
right thing?
coming forward and telling what happened,
Yeah.
do you consider the right thing after he left?
You can be vindictive and still be right.
Okay. I don't know if I
Well-
want to say right thing, but I see what you're saying.
Was he
There's
asked
no-
a question?
My point is, there's no whistleblowers
He was.
really.
He
There's
just
one,
answered a question.
Yeah, that's true.
There's one. I don't know that he thought that this would have some impact on it.
Yeah.
I still am grappling with how I feel about the intensity of this and people calling for lifetime bans, and then you look at other things and you're like, well, if they're being consistent, but it's something that these are ruthless competitors who their whole lives since they could walk, all they've done is swing a piece of wood at a ball, and they will do anything to get to that pinnacle. To me, they're complicit. They didn't care. They used it.
Yeah.
They gained an advantage of it, or they didn't think it was that big a deal.
It's like AJ Hinch. He's still complicit, even though he tries
Even
to
if,
come up
even if he
with
didn't
it.
like
Yeah.
it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's where I do struggle with the okay, is this a little harsh on the punishment? Because if these players just felt that they were just one-upping the next guys, this is going to be my
What
point
they are
earlier.
is they're moderates. They didn't stand up and do anything.
But then there's also the
Moderates are no use to me.
Very good. Thank you, Gardner.
But there's
Perfect.
also the point
Perfect.
that I've been kind of sitting on that the Dodgers may be being quiet for another reason. They might be cheating too.
Yeah.
They might be doing something
Possible.
that doesn't
Possible.
necessarily. If you told me sign stealing is going to get two guys fired that won a World Series title, I'd be like, what? Everybody's doing that. I've brought this up 700 million times.
That's not
Kenny
true.
I don't
Rogers.
think you did that.
Was it Kenny Rogers?
Yeah.
For the Tigers, gets busted in the World Series with suntan lotion, obviously cheating, an obvious rule breaking thing. Tony La Russa, what'd he do? Well, let's just keep playing. Because his guys are doing it too. Or he's like, it's something that happens. To me, I think this probably happens
Or
on
that was
many
his
different
boy,
levels.
and he was just like, I ain't gonna put my boy
It-
out there like that
Leyritz
on
is-
national
was it-
television.
Wait, Jim
Leland.
Leland.
Can it be
Leyritz
both?
is a catcher.
It could be both.
Leland's his boy too.
Probably both.
Absolutely.
both.
My point is, I think that there's a lot more of this going on than we care to think,
Mm-hmm.
and that therefore the players are just like, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Look, I just know after a while, if I'm a consumer, and I am one, I am. It gets a little bit. All right, man. That's
See, Kim,
Roy. Look, I'm just saying, Major
See,
League.
if I really wanted to take it down another level or down a different angle, I'd say, see, this is why you shouldn't invest in sports.
Yeah, sure,
And you
sure.
know what, fans? When you buy that ticket, when you invest like this,
Yeah,
you take that emotional risk.
yeah, you do.
Here
You do.
comes
You're right.
Nihilist Gardner.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Kim,
right.
Kim
So
in
you
the
know
com-
what? You know whose fault it really is? The fans.
Oh well,
We're all
shit, I didn't
enablers.
think, oh boy, that's kind of true. He's kind of right.
There.
Now, how do you feel about our friend Kim in the comments? Has zero tolerance for cheating of any kind. Get out of here with it.
Yeah,
I actually appreciate that. That's a stance.
That's fine. I
I just think
There's-
there
I
are-
here's-
think cheating can be creative.
Here's my thing. It's the indignity that a guy like AJ Hinch showed when you when you're caught, just be like, I'm not gonna comment, I'm not gonna entertain that. When you turn into a Pentecostal preacher and you start going, well, people who cast stones and how they, we keep a fine.
Calm down, Dabo.
Yeah, when you start doing the whole Southern preacher thing to me, that's when I go, hold on, player. See, you could have just simply said, no, I'm not going to entertain the bullshit, but you sitting up here getting on your high horse, what the fuck really going on?
Yeah, you
So
call
that's
him
my
out for
problem
that.
with AJ Hinch. You didn't, when people were asking reasonable questions, you got pompous about it, and you turned it, same with Lunau. Well, we're going to put someone in their camera well because we believe it was actually them who were cheating. That's what I got a problem with. If you got caught, just be like, you know what? Either shut up or
Who did they do that against?
the Los Angeles Dodgers. Wasn't it in the World Series where they put one of their representatives in their well?
Was it against the Red Sox? At
Or
all?
was it the Red Sox too? Now that'd be funny if it was the Red Sox.
Because here's one thing that just crossed my mind.
Maybe you're right. I think it was the Red Sox.
Okay. One thing that just crossed my mind.
Oh, okay.
You ready?
I think I know where you're going.
So Lunau says what? That he was unaware, right?
He was unaware.
But in this putting the person in the camera well,
Yep.
he was trying to defend against cheating, right?
Yep.
Against who? The Boston Red Sox?
Yes.
And Alex Cora?
Yes.
Why would he do that if he was
There
unaware
it is.
of what was going on to begin with?
There it is. But that's what I'm talking about.
There's your answer.
See, and that's why I'm just saying.
You're
At the
full
end
of
the
shit,
day,
Jeff Lunau.
there you go. And then sometimes, at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to be, and maybe I should give more credit to the Dodgers. You got to be like, no comment, dude. You just
Well-
better off shutting the fuck up because the more you talk, the more guilty you look. So
Yeah.
shut up.
They had a no comment that
Right.
is supposed to lead reporters down a
Right.
different. to
Jeff
another
Lunau
direction.
told on himself with those statements. AJ Hinch told on himself with
Yeah.
those statements. And that's why I'm okay with those guys being out of the
I
game
ain't
for a
mad
while.
at you. I just think you revealed
You
yourself,
revealed yourself.
and now we get to see that and smirk and
Yeah,
smile.
you can't.
and
You
make fun of
you can't have your hand in a cookie jar and be like, "Man, that ain't even my hand. What the fuck you talking about?"
Have you tried that before?
I have. I'm like, "Mama, that ain't my hand."
What'd she do?
She didn't.
Slap that.
Mhm,
Slap
she
that
slapped
hand?
the hand in
Like
the back of my
like
head.
the Pope.
Mm-hmm. Get your damn cookie. Her, eat the cookie.
Couple comments real quick. Royce says saying no comments, a sign of some sort of guilt. I don't always think that.
No,
but
sometimes, like I said, sometimes you just gotta sit back. Sometimes you just gotta, hey, I'm no comment. And sometimes talking too much
They
get
wouldn't have
yourself into
mentioned the
trouble.
World Series in particular if they didn't want people to
Right.
explore that particular angle.
Just say and maybe they should have just stopped at that first statement. I take full responsibility for what took place. Period. Good day.
How about Tom Brown? The only thing I care about in sports is if my team wins. WWE might be staged, but I get what I paid for. Well said.
I know
Tom.
there's going to be moments where a team does something to get the advantage, but this feels like they went an extra step. They went. This feels
It's 'cause
cartoonish. They went
they're
too
trying to figure
little
out
bit too.
technology.
And I get wanting to. I know teams do what they can to get the advantage. This just seems a bridge just a little bit too far. And I think it's okay to regulate just a little bit. We got to rail some of this shit in, or it's not going to be fun to watch anymore. You're telling me a guy you want to go out there and pay all this money to watch a guy like Garrett Cole, one of the best pitchers in the game, get lit up
That's
because
why I don't
another
pay.
team is giving away signals?
I can just watch it at home.
Well, you can do that too. But are you watching at home if you're watching one of your favorite pitchers just get lit up every night with a 7 ERA?
Depends on what else is going on. Is the park open?
No.
Great questions all around.
Chris, I want to ask you about this next story if it's okay.
Let me quickly tell
Okay.
you about our friends at St. Louis Counseling
Oh,
Services.
hey, guys.
They're here for you. They record their podcast here at Midcoast Studio. We think you should check it out. They have great conversations. They've had several celebrities, entertainments, local educators, Jesuits even, on the show. That's big in this town.
That is true.
They discuss mental health issues and break down the stigma. Host Tom Duff jumps in. You can check it out online, stlouiscounseling.org, everybody. What were you want to jump in, Trev?
A couple things really quickly. First, let's, of course, because you guys mentioned it yesterday, congratulate the national champion Tigers.
Boy, we don't talk college football on
We
this
do
show.
not. We do not at all. The LSU Tigers, that is. LSU beating Clemson in New Orleans last night, 42-25. Joe Burrow setting college football records, most touchdowns in the season, and then 6 touchdown performance, 5 throwing, 1 running. Joe Burrow's putting on a show. Heisman winner and likely the number 1 pick in the NFL draft this spring.
How?
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
you watch
Ed
the game?
Orgeron, I did. It was a fun game, especially the first 3 quarters were just incredibly impressive. If you have not seen Joe Burrow play, then you're missing out on one of the most special athletes. Probably had one of the greatest seasons of any individual player in the history of college football. LSU had one of the greatest seasons.
Yeah, if not the greatest.
Out of the 15 opponents they played this year, they played 7 who were in the top 10. They beat them all. Joe Burrow just absolutely incredibly impressive last night. Only thing you just feel bad for this kid. He's going to make a lot of money, Chris, mind you, in the spring, but he'll likely be doing it in Cincinnati.
Man, it's a struggle. Eli Manning did it.
He did it.
Peyton Manning's
if I'm
dad
Joe
did
Burrow, and I wouldn't do it because I think only a Manning, I think only a guy like Archie Manning could do something like that. But
I don't know. I know it's crazy.
if I'm Burrow's parents, I'm just like, hey, Mr. Manning, can we find a way to get our kid to
John Elway had
another city?
John Elway had
Elway did
baseball.
it.
Peyton and Eli had their dad.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you can pull some kind of leverage, honestly, it might be worth it. And I get it. Like you can.
He'll
suck,
take
you
a
can
PR
suck
hit.
anywhere. Willie
take a-
though.
A little one.
Willie.
A little one. Because
I don't
people
know,
going to be
man.
like, you ain't a Manning? You know, Mannings are football royalty. So they're like, that's why people are like,
But the point is, it
It's
worked.
a tough one, too,
It's a
being
tough
from
one.
Ohio.
oh, and he is from Ohio. So that would be, yeah. And
Gotta go home.
You gotta, yeah.
Well, you
do.
don't have to, I
Well,
guess.
we have talked about that before. You can't always go home. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Because while it was a very entertaining game, there were some special people in attendance. Attending.
You got one of the most historic national runs of all time from a college football team, and you jump to this.
Yeah, definitely. There's no doubt
I
about it.
I don't know what he's going to say, but I know exactly what
I
he's
know
going
what
to
he's
say.
gonna say.
I know.
And in attendance was your friend, fan, Vince Vaughn.
Oh, I'd call him a hero, even.
Vince Vaughn in the house, and he's oh boy,
Spoiler alert.
oh boy.
Yeah, he probably did some consulting on the reality TV series that Donald did. Damn it. Vince Vaughn's a big producer. I mean, yeah. Goes back. Your girl Hillary used to hang out with Donald all the time.
Sit down.
Hey.
Look what happened to her. She lost an election.
Still collecting wins.
That was quite something.
Okay.
Donald J. Trump in the building last night watching some college football. Was in the South, so you knew he was going. Got a nice applause from the LSU Clemson
Listen.
faithful, from the South Carolinians and Louisianians.
Vince is just there. He knew he could get in front of the El Presidente, and he could talk about his native Chicago and how the president could help.
I will say at least Trump made it to New Orleans after Katrina before George W. could.
Which Kanye are you right now?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah,
new
Chris,
Kanye.
Did they talk about Chicago?
That's a good question.
What do you think they would say?
I don't even want to imagine those two brains going back and forth with each other in real life. That just sounds.
You think they're aware of the reduced crime rates in Chicago at this point now?
I'm almost certain they don't care.
That's because
At all.
of Jussie.
Yeah, specifically.
Jussie. Yeah, everybody's like, you know what, man, we don't need to be
Like
messing with these
40% down?
It's whatever.
really?
I know Twitter gave
Oh,
them shit
yeah,
last
since
night.
2016.
I was gonna give you shit, but I was just really gonna take this as an
Are
opportunity
you a
to show my
triggered
growth.
snowflake liberal?
Whatever.
Yeah,
it's
he
Vince.
said-
My
he
thing
has-
is,
he
it's
said hello to the
Vince.
president.
It's Vince Vaughn, and whatever. It's Vince Vaughn.
What if he
Vince Vaughn does it.
stuck
I'm not
his
gonna-
hand on his butt before he shook his hand?
Maybe he did.
You
It's
don't know that?
possible. Oh, it's
He
very
said,
possible.
here, smell this.
Yeah.
That may have been a good
I
one.
Cupped
gave
a
him,
fart in his
gave him
hand?
stink
I
palm.
don't. I think people are just. I think people were having fun with. I don't think anybody was really upset about
I
it.
do like when this stuff happens. Vince Vaughn's got to be fairly. I mean, he's a smart guy, but I'm sure he's fairly insulated in his own world. And he's talked about it in interviews before. Which I didn't realize it, but I'm fairly sure he talks about being conservative or more conservative.
I
than,
think he is.
than
and
your average actor.
I'm sure he is, and I think the Drew
But it
Brees.
is. It's funny though. Whenever it comes face to face, and it's a guy, Tom Brady or Vince Vaughn or whoever, shaking hands with Trump, people
think-
lose it. And I'm like, I don't. Can't be that surprised.
I don't know. I don't care, but I think
Obviously,
but I think people.
you burned your DVD copy of Wedding
I don't
Crashers
think
on the way in here.
I wish I could. I don't know. Drew Brees and his family.
We
took
knew he
pictures
was
with
like,
him.
he was such a dick and Rudy.
It's also
Good
true.
point.
How do we not see this?
Good point.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Everyone thinks of Wedding Crashers and,
Old
old
school.
school and swingers and all. He was such a fucking dick and Rudy. You should have known.
Here's what I get. Here's just where I am. He doesn't deserve your humanity. It's not even about politics. It's you normalizing behavior by showing him humanity when he can't show humanity to others. And so it's not about right, left. It's not about whether he's for healthcare or not for healthcare. It's about a person
He's not.
who's a person in Trump who's incredibly indignant, incredibly racist, incredibly bigoted.
Yeah.
That's the issue. So it's not an issue of, oh, well, you can be civil and shake hands with the President of the United States. If you think the anger towards his president is political based, then you're fucking missing the entire picture. You're completely misunderstanding why people like myself do not like this guy. So that's more for me why I cringe when I see people like a Vince Vaughn. It's not because of his conservative back. You can be a conservative. No one's saying you can't be Republican. But to put yourself, your dignity and humanity in his space, it's disgusting. He's not,
So it does
it's not
bother you.
political.
Obviously doesn't.
It bothers me in that sense. It doesn't bother me in the political sense.
Okay.
If you want to support
I don't
someone
think
because of their
you're-
political belief, that's fine. I don't hate people who like Mitt Romney. That you can tell people you can tell the energy behind how folks treated Mitt Romney supporters and treat Trump supporters. They aren't the same. They just simply aren't the same. And we all know it just recently happened. So that's why I have an issue when the Drew Breeses of the world and the Vince Vaughns of the world want to humanize and normalize this guy who doesn't provide humanity to others, who isn't willing to do that for others, but you're willing to do that for him? That seems silly.
I liked the tweet yesterday. This guy named Tom Nichols, who's, and for the most part, conservative, but is one of the never Trumper types.
Right.
But, and I know some people might not like it, but it was the people who whined because there was a recent Trump retweeted, who was it? Schumer and Pelosi with wraps on their heads or something
Right.
and something whatever. He said the people who whine about how the coastal elites always look down on the Rube Nation are applauding the president for showing a Jewish man from New York and a woman from California in Iranian garb and implying they are traitors. If they feel looked down upon, maybe they should be. And I was like, yeah.
There it is.
That's part of it.
That's
is,
it.
Yeah, you are kind of deplorable. You are kind of rubes. You are kind of idiots, and you should be told that.
And you're bigoted and you're racist. And if you
You should
are,
be nice about it.
you
used
shouldn't have to be. Why do you have to be
The
nice?
thing is, people were nice about it before,
Right.
and they can't be now.
You can't be now. And
You
that,
have
that's
to
the
tell
thing.
them straight up, this is what you are, and this is what we're not going to do. We don't care.
And
And if you want to fight back, good luck.
And we know in this particular president's head that he streams that from validation of other good people. So you see a guy like Drew Brees. Well, now Drew Brees, a good person in the New Orleans community, is validating Donald Trump. Now in his mind, he's like, I can't be as bad as people are making me out to be. Drew Brees just shook my hand and took a picture with me. I can't be a bigot. I can't be a hateful racist. That can't be me. Look who all these good, meaningful, nice people. Look how they take pictures with me. That's my problem.
So it does bother you.
So yes, it does. bother
Okay.
me.
Tom Brown. I think Burrows is from Ohio. He's probably happy Cleveland isn't number one. KFB. Vince was just hitting on Melania.
Now that's fair. That would I don't blame you.
Royce makes a great point. He says Vince was just seeing if they had any crab cakes.
And look at I don't hate Vince Vaughn. I wish people would think about what you're doing when you do it.
But maybe they are.
Maybe they are. Maybe they are. You're right. Man. Hate to see my boy Vinny go out like that though. I like tall dudes.
He ain't going anywhere.
I know he ain't going.
Yeah, we know he'll be
If
fine.
he shows up in a Marvel
Maybe
film,
he'll
I'll
show
watch
up at comedy this Thursday at
him.
Sophie's.
Can't do that.
Hey,
Yeah.
kid, that was good.
Maybe
That's
so.
illegal. You can't
I don't
just
know,
say
man.
that.
We have a killer lineup this week, and I feel like I say that a lot. It's because we do. Justin Luke opening. Our friend Jamie Fritz. This is somebody who headlines clubs in the Midwest. Jamie Fritz is going to do some time. And then we've got JC Sabala and Tina D-Ball. Tina's coming off a great weekend at Helium with Dave Attell. That's right. And Ian Fidance, who we're talking to in just a moment. So it's going to be a great time. Stop by. Enjoy drink specials starting at 4 p.m. Young professionals at Gateway Pet Guardians are going to bring some pups. It's going to be a good time. Big show planned, and we expect you all to be there. Drink some Schlafly specials. And thank you again to Jack Daniels for presenting all of our comedy stuff here in St. Louis, providing you free entertainment every week.
We need to talk about something.
Yeah,
I don't
we
know
do.
how we haven't talked about this yet.
Okay, go for it.
Travis, we discussed yesterday
Mm-hmm.
a new fragrance, a new candle.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Goop Shop that Gwyneth Paltrow has?
Mhm.
Goop Shop?
A very big
Trav's opening up a
multi-million-
nut hut.
Yeah. This smells like my vagina.
Hmm.
Is a fragrance for her candle.
Hey, for all the roasts and everything, is this the smartest thing anybody's ever done?
Yes.
It's not bad.
It's
It's
not
pretty
bad at
damn
all.
genius.
But we wanted to kind of further this some
Mm-hmm.
and kind of figure out,
What you got? What do you come up with?
you know,
Oh,
this smells like my dick with Travis Terrell.
seems like somebody modified that photo.
I mean, it's just adjusted just a little bit.
Okay.
Looks like you're complicit, AJ.
This smells like my dick. Now, we were discussing this, and I realized, by the way, when you're having this conversation, be careful how you word it, especially to your friend's wife, because you don't want to ask her, hey,
What's
what
yours?
would your vagina candle smell
Oh my
like?
God.
Which Travis stepped into and had to
How did you do that?
reverse back.
What
because
did
I
you
was
say
trying
it like
to-
that?
I
Did you say
said-
it just like
I
that?
think I did.
Were you
Oh my
smelling
God.
Were you smelling the air as you asked it?
Yeah, I
wafting?
did not sniff. I did not waft. But I was trying to essentially get an idea as to what hers would be because I know I couldn't find the right way to word it, and I screwed up. And
What did your friend say?
He was like, huh? He just gave me the ha face, and I was like, yeah, I just heard the words come out of my mouth, but
And
that
you've
wasn't
seen
what I
that
was trying to
face before,
ask.
right?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
It's like, So, but what I was trying to ask is that if you could come up with any ingredients that would best describe your crotchal region,
Okay.
what would it be?
Yeah.
I, again, did not come up with the correct wording, but
Yeah.
that was the point. Yesterday, off the air, we were discussing, hey, man, if your dick smelled like a candle, what would be your dick candle?
Sage, mint, and tea tree oil.
Is that Chris? Okay.
I
like that.
definitely have menthol.
Oh, God. When you pee, do you smell menthol?
Not right now, especially because I got a heck
I was
cold.
discussing this with the dietitian against diets yesterday. I said, hey, why does sometimes when you drink coffee, you just and pee, it smells like you're just sending the whole cup right back out? She goes, probably because you're already too dehydrated, and then it dehydrates you more, and it's a natural diuretic.
Oh, that's not good.
So, yeah.
Because I do smell that.
There you go.
So mine's gonna have like menthol, lavender, maybe the Havana.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
from Snappy Big.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd add a couple more. I'd have to figure that out. But I asked Travis to come up with 5 ingredients
Okay.
for what his candle would smell like, and then maybe we can find a way to put these all in a blender and then light it on fire
Okay.
and see how it smells.
All right.
Okay.
So, do you remember what your ingredients were?
I do. I believe the first ingredient was Dr. Pepper,
Uh-huh.
Doritos spicy nachos,
Uh-huh.
cocoa butter.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you had White Castle sliders.
Uh-huh.
And then finally, basketball shorts that I used as underwear. I think we should just put that in a nice little blender. Mix that all together.
You know, I was looking for pictures yesterday, and I started craving White Castles in the
No,
middle of
There you
it.
go.
No.
So, yeah, that's probably what's going into this candle smells like.
I like the
Travis
basketball
did.
shorts as underwear. I wonder what that smells like with cocoa butter.
No.
Something to think about, though. But
It
that
is.
So does it get orange from your Dorito fingers?
Probably a little dusting.
Okay.
But that would probably be it. I'm looking forward to that.
Trace
set.
residue.
You smell that in your house. Travis has been in your home.
Well, I like Dr. Pepper.
But isn't that weird,
guys
though? You
proud
can
of
walk into
That's my
somebody's
favorite
house.
soda.
Walk into somebody's house. My husband's dick in here?
Okay.
Wait a minute.
That's a tough one to
I'm gonna
handle.
cough now.
Now, looking at this, yesterday we spent 3/4 of the show talking about Magic Eye posters
Yeah.
from the 90s in doctors' offices. We did do a poll if you guys want the results of that.
Yeah.
Do you have
Okay.
them? Do you have them, Gardner?
I don't have the poll.
Okay.
No.
Could you actually see the object in Magic Eye posters in the 90s is the question. Here we go. Your answers: yes, I have superpowers. No, I'm honest. 46%. Yes, I have superpowers. 54% couldn't see them. That's a fair amount of people that didn't see them. Oh
That is
boy,
a lot
that's
of
a
people
Magic
that didn't
Eye.
see it. Oh, shit. I'm not looking at that.
This is apparently a Captain Marvel one.
Are you
I ain't-
serious?
I ain't looking at that.
I'm
guy.
crossing my eyes.
No, I ain't looking at that. I ain't getting no having a seizure.
It's supposed to be Captain Marvel. I don't see literally anything.
I got nothing. I tried. I wanted to put one up on the screen and then have Travis look at it on the screen, and then I was going to flip it to like a gross picture while he had his like nose on the screen.
That's fucking gross. Grow up.
That'd be funny.
I was thinking about that while I was laughing by myself smoking on the street yesterday thinking about that.
Good for you. Man,
I didn't look psycho at all.
not at all. Well, congrats to all of you who can see Magic Eyes. Again, thank you to Snappy Bigman for the great coffee.
Yeah. It was 54% said no, they couldn't.
Right.
I believe it, man. Those things were hard. Everybody I talked to yesterday about it when we were off air, they were like, we couldn't see shit
Yeah.
forever.
That's why I think a lot of kids were liars.
I think a lot of kids probably were out there. Yeah, I think it maybe was a psychological experiment by the United States government to see what we're willing to lie about in regards to what we think we saw. And then, of course, they applied that to the 2016 election, and then we just completely just made it up.
That sounds reasonable and fair and probably true.
Yeah. I would think it would be.
So we've got a conversation to jump to. It's myself and Ian Fidance, a comic. You can catch him on The Real OG with Tracy Morgan coming up. It's on, I believe it's on Hulu. Is that right? Hulu or Netflix? Which one?
I can't remember which one.
Yeah, The Real OG on whatever streaming service. He's on there. He tours. He's done writing work for Crank Yankers. He's on You Up with Nikki Glazer every week on Sirius XM. He does a lot of great work, and he's extremely funny. So I was very happy to talk to him. And our friend Mia hooked it up as far as the interview goes. Big shout out to Ian Fidance. Real quick, what do you guys think of this tweet? This isn't from Ian. I just wanted to share it with you guys and get your reaction. People are against transphobia and fat shaming, but for some reason you can talk all the shit you want about trans fats.
Ah,
That was funny. I
nice
saw that.
wordplay.
Shout out to the real Nick Davis on
Okay.
that one.
Oh, that's not bad.
Let's throw it to Ian Fidance, one-on-one with yours truly. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Are you recording?
B-roll. This is my my hanky.
Dude, that's awesome. My grandpa had those. And
My grandpa had a hanky. That's where I got it from. But he
serious.
he would use a white one. He would use a white
That's
one. I'm
bold.
like, well, your boogies are everywhere.
Yeah.
So I use it, but my dad used bandanas, so I combined the two
Nice.
because they're both dead.
Oh,
So they live on in my hankies.
you give a tribute to them every single time.
Put that in there.
So you had an interaction with somebody after the show. We got to just jump into that. We've been driving around for a little bit for some context,
Yes.
and like we've been basically arranged to be friends by the great Mia Jackson.
Yes.
But we've been a little mum on our conversation. Now we can open up and kind of get
Yes.
into it. So David
Um,
Tell, sold out show. You're the feature. It's like he's treating you like it's like co-headline thing. I mean, I get it's a David Tell show, but he's putting you on.
the
Man.
kindest, sweetest man, and has been so giving and incredible to me to really like kind of take me under his wing, and he
Right.
really, and not just me, like anyone that opens for him, he treats them as if they are on his level of like
Right.
like he's just so kind at like pulling people up with him. You know what I mean?
I do, and that's like you have to have that. Even like you could have a bit of an ego too. Like you have a following, you have great credits, you're funny. You could be out and just be like, I'm gonna go hit the road, and you do. And I'm sure there will be a point where it's like, it won't make sense for you to feature for a Tell anymore. But for you to be able to jump in on that, and for him to, for whatever reason, level you up, like that's huge.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have to. And you'll
it's
do it
crazy.
for people.
Without a doubt, of course. And he's truly like taught me like how to act, just like with class, and like
People freak out about him.
totally.
Yeah.
People freak out, and I think that's why we get along so well, is because I never like fanboyed out, even though like I used to be a carpenter in Delaware, and I used to hang sheetrock and put on his albums, and me and all the carpenters would laugh. We'd put on like Steve Martin, Mitch Hedberg, Attell,
Yeah.
I put on Mike Birbiglia, and they were like, well, this is good, but it ain't really for me, And,
I love that people talk like that in Delaware too.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I feel like
dude,
that would be like a stereotypical Missouri accent.
No, like,
yeah.
dude, there's a real hick part of
Wow.
Delaware. Yeah.
That's I don't know. Is there who's famous from Delaware? Like who should we
Joe
know?
Biden.
Okay, dumbass me, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the big one.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Old popcorn.
The old popcorn.
Remember that?
What is,
Everybody,
what's going on with
everybody
him?
thought he was a liar, and they're like, "There are no gangs in Delaware." He made that story up. It's like Delaware is so fucking dangerous. There was like so much racial tension. There's so many gangs in Delaware. I used to live next to a woman whose ex-husband, was a leader of the Thunder Guard,
Are you
which was
shitting?
the black motorcycle gang.
No shit.
And I used to live with an ex-pagan.
No
He was
kidding.
ahead of the meth distribution in Lower Delaware for the pagans. There's so many gangs in Delaware. There's like the East Side Boys, like the Riverside Kings and everything. So everyone's like, Delaware, oh, he's a liar. It's like, without a doubt, he was popping around with popcorn,
Right, and he's just casually kind of mentioning it now. But it's
Yeah,
like,
but I mean,
no,
like,
this
his
is the real
story was
deal.
like so ridiculous.
Yeah,
He's like, I used to have hairless legs and popcorn had a knife. It's like, what?
Feel my leg.
Yeah, remember that? He was like, I was like a dolphin. It's like, dude, Joe, you're
Dude,
losing it.
You have to be a certain level of intelligence to reach the heights he's reached, right?
Yeah.
We can agree on
Without
that,
a
probably.
doubt.
What the hell is he saying half
Oh,
the time?
dude.
And he's a professional orator. Like, you should have your talking point or whatever.
Dude, I cannot imagine what it must be like to be in the public eye for your entire life and be like, he was like Mr. Foreign Policy.
Yeah.
And then like now where everything you say is under a microscope, I can't imagine building your career on being like an off the cuff grandpa.
No,
and then
no.
now everything is second guess. And so like you have to be talking while at the same time being like, should I say this? Is this right? Da, da, da. And he's still trying to be like, I'm just a tell like it is grandpa. And they're like, well, stop sniffing my hair. And he's like, it's familial.
Go back to the set, man. Stop doing crowd work.
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah. So
this
get
isn't
off
your
the
thing.
riff.
It's
you're,
not
you're,
happening.
you're falling off the surfboard. The riff wave's over, pal. Go into what works.
No shit. I didn't know. Okay, so purposely, I kind of stayed away from just doing a ton of research on it. Mia says, have him in. I see that you're so legit. You've got all kinds of good things going on. But growing up in Delaware and doing construction, I actually like that quite a bit. Comics are, for the most part, in my experience, super easy to talk to. You have a good time. Everybody Because you can get humbled pretty quick, right? On
Oh,
stage, you take
yeah.
so many fucking punches to the face.
Oh,
coming
but
through
you
it.
have to.
You-
That's
but
how you get better.
It is too.
You know?
But for you to have that blue collar background too, I like that, man.
Oh,
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, you know, incredibly like blue collar, like piss and vinegar. You know, it's funny, man. Me and my mom. It was just me and my mom since I was like 8, and we had like the smallest house out of everyone. But my house was like the house everyone went to. Because my mom would like fry up chicken for everyone,
Very
and we'd
nice.
like hang out. And I always, because it was just me and my mom, you know, and I always kind of wanted like a like, you know, like the family I was all whatever, but it was like I always kind of wanted like a family environment for my mom so she wouldn't be like, you know, alone. Me going out, it was like, well, why don't we bring it home so my mom will have people around too, you know.
That
My
means
mom
she's
was
a good
so
time
great.
too.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. My mom's great. So like it was so funny, just like, you know, because she you know, worked really hard to put me in like, you know, good schools and everything, and everyone else is driving like, you know, these like cars, and I'm like this beat up Toyota Camry and everything, but it was like the car we all drove in, because I
Right.
also used to drive reckless to like impress my friends.
A comic that drove reckless.
Oh,
as a
dude,
kid,
I
yeah,
got
who
my
would've thought?
license, and I would like drive so slow, and I always told my friends they lived in kind of like Westchester, this like area, Glen
Yeah,
Mills. I
yeah.
was like, when I get my license, I'm gonna pick you up. So I did, and I'm like, you know, like 12 and or like 2 and 9 or
Yeah,
whatever,
12
2
and
and
2.
10, 12
10
and
and
2,
2,
at
yeah,
6
yeah.
o'clock, you know, and I'm driving the speed limit. And they're like, what the fuck, man? Gun it! We're on an open road.
Oh no.
And so
Yeah.
because of them, I just got so reckless, and I'd like hit trash cans to like make them laugh and everything, you know.
That was, man, I don't know if it was just because the internet hadn't taken off and we didn't have smartphones yet, but like I grew up in rural Missouri, like an hour
Yes.
south of here, so like that was
Yes.
a like knocking shit over. and
Yes.
we were just like, hey, do you want to just go tear some shit up?
Oh my God!
we-
Smashing
no
mailboxes.
alcohol.
You'll
No-
never
yeah.
find more joy in just teeing up a mailbox.
How about a dumbass getting out and like side kicking one, like karate
Oh
style
yeah,
side
yeah,
kicking
we
one?
would do that. What the big, you know, the God code we found to fun was after the night after Thanksgiving, you go around and you find people that still had pumpkins left up.
Yeah.
And it's a 2 for 1. You go, you steal the pumpkin, then you throw the pumpkin into a mailbox.
Perfect.
And the statute of limitations is long enough that I could talk
It's-
about
I think
this,
so.
you know.
We probably both.
But
got
it
a
was
few,
like,
yeah.
you know, just kind of that style. It was like, what do you do before you find alcohol? You know.
Did Jackass make us do this? I wonder.
We were doing it before Jackass,
Yeah.
but then Jackass did it, and it was
Amplified
like,
it.
well, now we got to step up our game.
We
you
had
know?
this. They did. We had this stupid thing we would do. When I was like 14, riding around with like 16-year-olds. We would put a giant cup on our car and slowly drive through like a Walmart parking lot, and just make people like, "Hey, you have a cup on your car," and we thought it was the
Mm-hmm. Hilarious.
best thing in the fucking world. And then
Yeah, yeah.
Jackass goes and puts a fake baby on top of their
Oh,
car.
yeah,
It's like,
that's
all
right.
They leveled it up.
I
Yeah,
know.
did
They
it,
really
yeah.
stepped it up.
Jesus. So okay, so you've been in the Northeast your whole life.
Yeah, I grew up in Delaware, and you know, it's like so weird about being like a full-time comic because I've always had like tons of jobs, like
Probably seems
multiple
fake.
jobs at a time.
Right.
And then like when you have this, you're basically like a freelance, you know, and it's
Yeah.
like you just have all this time to like, I'm so used to being like, be here, do this, here's a task, here's the thing, you know, and then you just do all this on your own, like, I'm so lost, you know. But like growing up, I think like with that work ethic has really helped, you know, my comedy and everything, and also to humble me and know, you know, I'm not shit.
That
you know.
that would be the thing I would probably think would be the most important, at least for long-term success, right?
Yeah.
Because you can get caught up in these things if you have one big show, then you're going to turn around and you're going to do a bar show in New York. I mean, especially in New York, like
Oh,
it's not going
yeah.
to go that great.
Without a doubt, yeah.
and
But
you,
I
you
like
can't let
learn.
that kill you though.
It was funny because when I started comedy, I was working for a construction company, getting people to sign up for free construction estimates, going door to door.
Yeah.
In the town I grew up in, I was living in a halfway house at the time. And it was the most humbling thing ever because I would, you know, I moved to New York at 18, then I moved back in 2008, and then I was there for like 4 years. I moved back for comedy, but in the interim, I had all these jobs, and I was like doing this door to door thing, and I would go to like people's houses where I like knew their kids, and
Right.
they'd answer the door and be like, Ian,
Yeah.
what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm just helping out a friend. I'm a doctor and a lawyer, but this is just volunteer work. I'm a good person. They're like,
Right,
oh, my
right.
son's getting married and living a happy life. And I'm like, oh, I was married to vodka, you know. And then I had to get rejected all the time.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting yelled at, get off my lawn. People are pulling guns. They're calling the cops. You're like, you know, you're a professional liar trying to get people to sign up for this thing so you can
Yeah.
get commission, you know.
Right.
So you're like thinking off the top of your head, and you're getting rejected, and you're trying to turn the no into a yes, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you got to leave it at that house, go to the next house, and I started comedy. So I was like, oh, this is just like getting rejected. I'm so used to that.
Yeah.
This doesn't matter, you know.
Doesn't at all. That's
Yeah.
fucking wild, man. So okay, so back it up, I guess, a little bit. I glazed over it. You lost your father when you were 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's plays a huge part in growing up. I mean,
Well,
that's-
yeah, without a doubt. And you know, it's a thing. It's so massively traumatic that you compartmentalize it to the point where you use other things to. Our mentality was always like, it could always be worse. We're so lucky. It could always be, you know, as a way of not dealing with it. So I like had that in me for like decades. And then like it, you know, it all spills out in the end.
Yeah.
And it really did. And I'm just really fortunate that I've put myself in a place with therapy and everything to work on it so that it no longer rules and controls my life.
Yeah,
You know, because that was very much kind of puppet strings that were kind of pulling me around and getting in the way of me being like a fully formed, functioning adult in
human.
society.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. And then too, you mentioned vodka. I mean, just probably turning to that. I mean, that had to have a huge. What age did you start drinking?
Well, I had my first drink when I was in like 7th grade, and my friends got me drunk on New Year's, and I went back home and tried to fight my stepdad.
Oh,
And
okay.
I just like threw myself at him like a spider monkey. And I don't know if it was like out of anger, or just me like making him hug me. You know, I don't know if it was like twofold, you know.
Yeah.
But it was like immediately off the bat, like alcohol was like, it was like the solution and cause of all my problems.
Right.
You know, like it was just such a good thing to find something to make me feel good that could finally let me emote.
I can only imagine, man. Yeah.
But you know, and that, you know, was a thing I just had to go through, and I'm so grateful for it today because, you know, it's a thing of like for years, I've really kind of learned that everything that's happened to me in life, I can let it rule me and I can let it tear me down, or I can be so grateful for it that it's turned me into who I am, and I love myself today, and I'm happy with who I am, and I'm grateful for those things. And I am happy that I'm the person I am today, and I wouldn't be if these things didn't happen. And for me to look on it and wishing it didn't happen is going to get me nowhere. So
either you're a fucking great actor or you've got your shit together, man. That's really
Yeah.
that's very comforting to hear too.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very confident statement, man.
Yeah.
That's, congratulations. on
thanks,
that
man.
one.
Well,
Yeah,
you
but-
know, it's taken a lot of work, and the work's not over, and it's a battle every day. But that making that choice of living in positivity rather than negativity is really
Right.
something that once I kind of flick that switch, I've found that's kind of like the key to not only succeeding, but just like succeeding in my personal life. It's a thing of like, you know, everyone defines success in a different way, but like really I have to stay small, and like my definition of success and happiness is that if I can wake up, not put a substance in my body, and do something that truly makes me happy and survive that way, then that to me is success. I don't need like the thing of like, well, I want that. It'll all come, and if it does, it's just icing on the cake. But for me to be able to like just be content,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot of work. Some days I'm not. Some days I'm like, I want that thing. I may. But
Yeah.
the overriding thing is just to bring it back down and be like, dude, you're doing something you never thought you'd be able to do. You should be dead 10 times over. You're not, and you have the ability to make other people's days better. What more could I want in life?
That's a
you
great
know?
way to look at it too, and the fact that it feels like, I mean, you're on tour with David Tell. That's
Yeah.
a great sober buddy to
Totally.
have, right? And example too. You're like,
Without a
this
doubt.
doesn't like his career has just continued to skyrocket. His craft, he's considered Mount Rushmore comics. I
Without a
would say. But
doubt, man.
What so? aside from Dave, or Dave too, who else has kind of been your sober? I don't know. There's so many great comics that I'm sure you're around a lot that are sober. I mean, who do you lean on? Who's
well,
kind of
Nikki's sober.
Nikki
Nikki's
Glazer,
been an incredible friend to me, and she doesn't drink, and it's funny, man. You find these people, and I'm so drawn to people that are fucked up, and I used to be a teacher, and I taught in like inner city schools. And I did so well with the kids that were complete fucking nightmares,
Like you like the closer, like they send them to you when nobody else can.
Yeah, I taught at a
anything,
school in Brownsville where it was like you had to go there if you spent time in like, juvenile detention or got kicked out of these. It was like a last chance school, and I like loved it because it was very much like, I'm fucked up. These kids are fucked up. We have that in common. Let's work from there. Like I very much am drawn to people that are not actively fuck ups, but past fuck ups that are working on being better. And I really am fortunate that I found a community of people that, we can just sit down and immediately get into like what's going on, how do we make it better, and I've really found the power in a phone call.
Yeah.
Like getting up, getting out, stop feeling sorry for yourself, go to a coffee shop, walk around and call a friend on the way who's like going through the same thing, or like someone who's sober. Even I've started to reconnect with like old friends because I had this like mentality of like, you just gotta do comedy and you lose all your friends and this is what it is. And like
growing up where you grew up, you probably had some pretty decent relationships too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I was always a thing of like get close to someone and then I leave, so I'm in charge of the disintegration. I'm in charge of abandoning, so I don't get abandoned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm really fortunate that all the people in my life are very kind and loving, and I have a lot of friendships that you can like not hang out or talk to, and then you reconnect and it's like, oh, we picked up where we left off. There's no resentment. I get it, you get it, and I found the power in going, well, what's up with you, instead of being like me, like, because I'm obsessed with myself all the time. And I got that thing in my head that's like, you got to do this, you got to do that, you have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And for me to be like, what's up with you? Let me listen. Even if I'm still obsessing while you're talking, But that's helped out so much, and I'm so happy. I have people that
you're probably a totally different person.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
It's like so weird to look back and like, be like, who was that guy? Like, wow. And like looking back at like a childhood picture and like being a buddy to that kid, that was like so hard for a while. And that's like, just so like amazing, like being the friend to yourself that you never had is something I've like really tried to work on. That's helped out a lot.
Whoever, man, you're doing some good things.
I'm trying, man. I fall short, but every day I fucking try and
that's where it's at though. And you're in the right line of work for your personality too then, man. Like you get to go out there and just take big cuts, you know what I mean? It's like, you know what, I may fail, but we're gonna take we're gonna take some risks.
I may knock on a door and have them call the police, but the next door they'll believe the lie.
Exactly.
They'll sign up and they'll get that little check.
Oh, that's good, man. I love the commission part. Okay, so we're talking some good stuff, negativity in St. Louis. I need to hear about this.
Oh my God.
Let's break it down.
Oh my God.
Let's break it down.
Okay.
Let's break it down.
All right.
So first of all, St. Louis, people are pretty fucking cool here, like for the most part. Like especially a comic coming in from New York that's, like it or not, associated with Dave Attell. People should, for the most part, be really excited to also see and talk to you.
People, I mean, Dave's crowds are the best.
Yeah.
They come out to laugh. They get jokes. They get comedy. They love drinking. They have a good time. His crowds are just incredible. And, opening for him has just helped me so much become such a better comic. And, like, especially working the cellar all the time, like, that place makes you fucking... You either sink or swim, and you fucking step up or whatever. And I always want to be better because I'm surrounded by so many great people.
Is there a better comedy club in the world?
No.
It's the best.
And it's just, you want to be better. You want to be good, obviously for yourself, but like you want to step up and being with him is, I mean, it's a masterclass every night, and also we get along so well. So it's like, it's just a really great fit, and I'm really lucky. And his crowds are so great, and it really lets me kind of like just explode and be myself. And, they're there for him. And as like a byproduct, I get a lot of spillover from people digging him, and then they dig me, and
But he's confident in you that they will do that. He's not bringing somebody with him.
Oh,
that's
without a
not gonna happen.
doubt,
So that's a
yeah.
little like chicken. No, I mean, obviously it's going to help with him. But man, if you aren't able to fulfill that that spot and what's required of a
Right.
guy that's
Yeah.
featuring for David Tell,
Yeah.
that's a very nice feather in your cap too.
Without a doubt, and I
Yeah.
mean that's like a wild credit in and of itself,
Sure.
And it's just I'm incredibly fortunate. I really am, and that's not lost on me. And I have to also realize that none of this would happen if I wasn't sober.
That's
And
what a
that's
great
what I have
mindset,
to keep
man.
at
Yeah.
the forefront of my mind. I'm
Yeah.
living on borrowed time. I might as well enjoy it. That's the truth. And I love his crowds, and they're so great. And it's always funny because people are like, man, I always get so nervous about the opener, but you were great. I'm like, hey, thanks for that weird compliment.
That's a
you
really
know?
strange thing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and then you get like I'm sure it's interesting too because I'm sure there's clubs with certain headliners. Maybe they're a little fast and loose with who they have opening, but like you got our friends Rafe and Tina on there. Like,
Oh
with
my
that,
God,
like,
dude!
if
I
people are gonna
cannot
love them,
wait
they're
for
very
Rafe's
funny.
album to come out.
Yeah, he's
comes out
doing-
I think like in 2 weeks.
That,
Young Grandpa.
800-pound Gorilla Records is a
Yeah.
big deal, man.
Yeah.
Rafe. So we've known him for, I guess, 4
And
years.
Tina's
or
great
so.
too, man. It's so funny.
Very
'cause
funny,
You do,
very
you,
funny.
You're on the road and you're at so many places, and sometimes the support acts, they're young, whatever. I was the same way. I started out as a host, and I was so terrible. The DJ at the first club I hosted at was like, "You got hired here because of yourself. I don't know what the fuck that was on stage, but you better find who you are." And I was like, "Oh God," I was crying in a Wawa.
Oh, good,
And
good.
so I totally get it. But
Yeah.
like to have comics that are like, and again, like, dude, Tina's killing it, and then Rafe goes up, and I'm like, I better step up, or like, I'm gonna be fucked.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
want the fucking, no offense, I don't want the host and guest spot to bury me.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking kick him in the dick and
Yeah.
make him fucking, really ramp him up.
But on your mindset, that's the only way to be. Don't be that guy that's going to be like, hey, if you're doing this guest spot, cut this joke. Don't say this. Don't do that.
No,
Fuck those people.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about being sober, and Rafe was like, "Oh, I have sober stuff. I won't do it." I was like, "No, fucking do it, and I'll show him why it's different."
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
man. That's-
don't fucking insult me like that, asshole. Buy his album, Young Grandpa.
Boom, Young
800
Grandpa
Gorilla Pound
coming
Records.
God,
But
man.
no, it's been
Yeah.
great, man. His crowds are great, and
Yeah.
it's so fun, and
You do the
it's-
meet and greet with him after?
Yeah, he's so kind. He really includes me. We have a poster that we got made that's both he and I. It's a cartoon. We're both smoking cigarettes. It has our name in it, and people love it. And everyone, has me sign it as well, which is like so. He doesn't have to include me,
Right.
and he does, and it's not lost on me, And he also has a shirt, Dave's Old Porn.
Yep.
And it has a legendary porn star Seika, and then covering her tits is Dave on a couch. And people love the shirt. We actually sold out, and people have him sign it. And again, he's so kind. He goes, "Oh, Ian, sign it." Or sometimes people go, "Hey, will you sign it too?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, yeah, this is great."
Absolutely.
So last night, we're going through the line. I'm signing, whatever. And then I get a barrage of tweets at like 4 a.m. from a guy who's so angry that I signed his shirt. And we go back and forth, and at one point, like, he was so angry off the jump that, and I try to be like understanding and like cool. And if he was like, "Hey, listen, I love Dave, and I wanted it to be a Dave thing, and you signed it," it's kind of, I would have been like, "Dude, I'll buy a shirt and send it to you. I'll
Dave
get
will
Dave to
sign it,
sign it.
yeah.
I'm so sorry, whatever." But he was such a dickhead that I like couldn't help but be so happy I ruined his shirt.
Right.
And he
Yeah.
like, I interacted with him on Twitter, and I never do. I never give in to trolls. I never, and if I do, I always like make it a joke or like am nice or whatever. I never give into that like negativity. But this guy like caught me on it, whatever, and so I talk. I'm working on material about losing my dad and how that affected me as a child to make everything about like death. When you're supposed to be like a kid enjoying like play, and I just bring everything to like a dark place or whatever. So I did that joke, crushed, and I he goes, I know what killed your father. It was watching your act. And I was like, all right, faggot. You know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at the club. Stop whining online. Come out, and if you really got a problem, we'll fix it at the club. And then he started to like make these like weird jokes or whatever. I was like, well, I guess it's done. And I got so angry that I wanted to take the money from the shirt and burn it on a video, or like, you know, just like rip it up and be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I'd love to give you back your money. Oh, what's this? I burned it. Boo-hoo. Suck my dick. You know.
Does that feed in? Is that what he ultimately wants, though? I wonder.
I think so.
Is he jerking it to your response? Do you have
so his tweets were like really like fucking whatever, and it's funny because like he like commented on a thread that he like found or whatever, and
you want to read them?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to read the oh my god. So his page, his only tweets are complaints to companies about products.
See, this was
he goes, his last tweet besides tweeting hate at me was December 10th, 2015.
Okay.
So this guy came out of Twitter retirement to express his abject hatred for me putting my name on a shirt.
He put the 4-5 on his back like
so
Jordan.
much joy. That it stuck in his craw so much, he's like, I'm going to reactivate Twitter.
He had to download the app.
So his last tweet was, the Flex Steel furniture we purchased is pilling and falling apart less than a year after purchase. Hashtag Flex Steel, hashtag outrage, hashtag disappointed. So I retweeted that. And then his tweet before that was a tweet about to Al Jazeera about terrorism.
Oh, boy.
And then those were his only tweets. And then, okay, so the Twitter thing is like, whatever. I think it's over. Oh, yeah, and he kept calling me like a talentless hack.
Of course.
And then his first tweet to me was, hey, asshat, try asking before you autograph Attell's merch. You somehow managed to slap your name on a shirt my wife purchased for my birthday. We didn't go to the show to see opening hacks. And I go, ha, 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 happy birthday, dickhead. And he goes, you too, you talentless hack. You know what I think killed your father? Watching your act.
Oh, my God.
And I go, good one, faggot. Next time, don't drink so much at the show. I suck dick, so I can say it. Don't drink so much at the show and stand up for yourself if a talentless hack is signing your dumb shirt. He goes, I didn't drink. I was too busy praising the talent when some clueless dipshit snatched the opportunity to sign his name somewhere it wasn't requested.
So he's really into Dave Attell.
Yeah. So I go, maybe if you weren't sucking Attell's dick, you would have noticed my grubby little hands all over your precious shirt. And I go, listen, you know where I'll be tomorrow. Instead of whining on the internet, show up to the club and complain in person. Otherwise, go sleep in your shirt with my name on it. So then...
I like that part.
So then, I'm like, whatever, it's over. So then he goes on my Facebook and starts a fucking storm. He's straight up. So I posted like a picture of like, hey, excited to be healing, whatever. And he found, and it was like a public post, and he found that. Okay. At 6 a.m., he goes, and he's writing this to me, and he's doing it like he's writing it to management. He goes, my friends and I just got home from the Dave Attell show. All caps. My wife purchased one of Dave's old porn t-shirts for my birthday because the shirt combines my two obsessions, Dave and Seika. Dave Attell is his obsession, and an old porn star is also his obsession. Imagine our disappointment when we got home and discovered that you also signed my shirt. Like, I'm just imagining him going home and being like, I can't wait to wear my shirt. Dave Attell and only Dave Attell have signed my shirt. And then just looking at it and just sobbing when he sees my name. Okay. He goes, did it even cross your talentless mind to ask if I wanted you to autograph my shirt? All caps following 2 paragraphs. Newsflash, asshole. We didn't go to see hack openers. So thanks a lot. So thanks a shitload, Ian. Learn some goddamn manners and self-awareness for Christ's sake. Congrats. Thanks to you, I now have to Google how to remove white marker from a black cotton t-shirt.
You know, 1 second, like, literally like, take the nice approach. Shoot a DM. Say, hey, can I maybe get a
Dude,
different
again,
one?
if
Who the
he
fuck-
was
what
like,
a grown man needs an
"Hey,
autograph.
man," yeah. So I said, truly it was an accident misunderstanding, but this tirade makes me so happy imagining you angrily Googling how to erase my dumb name off your stupid shirt. Ha 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 ha. And he goes, you're as witty as you are self-aware. What does it feel like to know your career peaked on this tour? And I said, almost as good as knowing you'll never get my name off your shirt.
Fitting into that, man.
It ain't over. It ain't over.
Is he coming tonight, you think?
Well, the next post,
Oh, we've more.
he said, joke's on you, fugly. It was easier getting your chicken scratch off the shirt than it was getting your stupid face out of our photos. He had a picture with us that I was in that he then photoshopped me out of and posted. That's how angry this made him.
Was that?
Is that he went to Photoshop and took me out of a photo of him with Dave.
Are you so I hope to cry.
Dude,
I need to see
he
this. I
edited. It is just delicious.
This is amazing. And
Yes.
there has to be like just that soft gray kind of discoloration where you were. There's no way he did a good Photoshop job on it.
And he's gonna have to wear the shirt knowing my name's on it for the rest of his life.
He may have washed it out, but you're in his brain for forever.
Oh my
shit's
God.
tattooed on him. That's seriously
incredible.
like that's a story you'll tell 40 years from now.
I might read it on stage.
I think you should.
I mean, that guy.
I'm gonna send you. I'll clip that up. We'll send
Oh,
it to
please.
the close up and everything.
Dude, he like just being like, Google, how do I erase talentless hack name from shirt?
Right.
You know?
Your picture
And
pops
it's so
up.
funny because his tirade about how shitty I am is sandwiched in between people who are like, killer, great, love it, brr, 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 you know? And it's like, well, who's self-aware now, asshole?
I wonder too. Like, I wonder,
Newsflash, shithead.
You need to hand him a sober card tomorrow. Like, is this chemically influenced or is this a chemical imbalance? What is
I
it?
mean, I said to
Let's
him, I was
figure
like,
this out.
maybe if you weren't so drunk, you would have noticed what I was doing. He's like,
Yeah.
I wasn't drinking. It's like, yeah, right. Why are you up at? But also, why am I up that late? You know, I'm a psycho too. You know, so
Is
we
that
have more in common than he thinks.
You're gonna turn out he's actually a relative. of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what's gonna happen with this. That probably doesn't happen much. Like people
No.
are so happy to be at comedy shows. Now, granted, you're gonna have your idiot in X city that's gonna
Right,
do this.
and also like I'm aware that people love Dave, and the fact that they include me in like getting my name or like signing, that's like, wow, thank you. That
Dave, so-
really means a lot. And Dave doesn't have to include me, and I've said like, hey man, we can make a poster with like just you. People love you, and he goes, no, you're on the show, you're with me. I'm like, wow, So it's not lost on me that like it's almost like a favor every time,
Yeah,
And
but he's-
I'm very
he's
well
doing it 'cause he
aware.
believes in you.
I can pick up on people and I go, hey, do you just want a shot with Dave? And they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, do you just want Dave sitting? And they're like, some people are like, yeah, they're like, no, you sign it too, So I'm like aware of that, and I didn't really pick up on this guy like not wanting me involved,
Right.
But he also could have been his own like Dave world, which I like totally get,
Yeah,
know.
that's true. But the fact that he took it up, and this is a grown adult, just
Oh
took
my
it up,
God.
and he decided.
Not
that-
only a grown adult, an old adult, because I looked it up and he was in the Air Force in '91.
Okay.
And so the pettiness in me wanted to be like, hey man, you made it out through Desert Storm, probably Iraq and Afghanistan, I really hope we go to war with Iran so you can get blown up by a Scud missile, you fucking zilch. Support the troops except for this loser.
Except for you.
Yeah.
You should say that on stage tonight.
But also like I didn't post his name. I
Right.
crossed it out, and then these bloodthirsty people are like, "I'll message him." I'm like, "Thanks, but no thanks."
I want to look and see St. Louis. I mean, it's a major city or whatever, but like it's small enough. Like I want to look this guy up and see if I have mutual friends. Like that's the first thing I want to do. It'd be like, so and so, tell your cousin to get his shit together when he goes to the comedies to go see comedy.
Dude,
Like, if
I
want to
hang out with him.
I'm
wanna
upset
show
we
up
don't
when he's
have
running
the phones-
errands.
The phone running.
You know?
Right. I would. You should do that. You should have him call into Nikki's show or something.
Oh
to
my
discuss
god!
This.
I
Yeah.
mean, dude, it's just like if he had a modicum of self-awareness and been like, "Hey, whatever." Again, I would have gone out of my way to like right that wrong.
We're talking.
you
Well,
know?
it's not even what a thought process
Yeah.
for that to even be considered a wrong.
But it this will fuel me so much to
True.
be so fucking big and massive and like to the point where like he will rue the day when
Yes.
he erased my silver marker name from his shirt.
And he's gonna come back, and here's what he's gonna do, because I know people like
cannot
this.
Wait.
He's gonna come and see you in 5 years whenever you're doing a theater or something,
Two.
and he's gonna come up to. Yeah, I got real with that timeline, didn't I? When you come up and you're doing a theater, yeah, you got next year's tour, and then you crush the clubs, and then you move right into theaters. My bad.
Yeah, he's gonna see me on the red carpet.
He's gonna see that, but this dickhead's gonna come in and be
Yes.
like, he's gonna be proud that you had this interaction. He's
Oh
like,
my God.
remember, buddy? And like, no, you were a fucking asshole
Oh my
that was doing that.
God.
You know these people though, don't you?
I
Like that's
can't
what they do.
wait.
Like people will say horrific things to people on Twitter, and then the person responds and they're like, oh hey, big fan. Just
Oh
wanted to
well,
say
you know
hi.
that whole thing with Twitter is like,
strange.
you know, and I feel like I've kind of like understood it in like a weird like acceptance zen way of like these are people that truly like love comedy. How can you not? It makes you feel good, and they want to be a part of what we are a part of, and they
Right.
see us go back and forth or whatever, and really they just want to be like, hey, I like you, and they think like insulting you or like whatever is like the way to go,
Yeah.
you know, or like they want to be like, and also too, a lot of times people will make not a lot of times, and it used to happen, but I've been very vocal about I will joke about anything in my life. Anything is on the table to laugh at. I can take a hit, I can take a shot. I love it. I love being playful, but the one thing I don't like is other people making jokes about my father or my mom. Those are the two things that are sacred to me.
To
I
throw
can
away
talk
this
about
list
it.
of jokes I had.
I
for the
can.
end of the
I will
thing.
fucking knock you out. I will treat you like I wrote my name on your shirt. And those are those. And when I was younger, I would. And then I've gotten to a point where I'm like, no, that's a boundary I have, and I hope people respect it. And a lot of times, if someone makes a joke, I will message them personally and be like, hey, look, like everything, I'm totally fine with anything.
Right.
But that's like the one thing, and I really hope you can respect and appreciate that. And I'd really, it would mean a lot to me if you deleted that comment.
Right.
And I will say 9 times out of 10, that person is so cool and so understanding, and it comes out, hey, I'm just really a fan. I didn't know. I lost my dad, whatever. And I'm like,
Thought
hey,
we were
I
sparring.
get
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
man. That's totally fine, and that's so cool of you to understand and delete that, you know? Because at the end of the day, all these people, they're fucking people.
Yeah.
They just want to be understood. They want to be recognized. They want to be acknowledged, you know? And I get that. And it's just a weird way of going about having a connection with someone. And I think that's what we all desire, is some form of connection.
Absolutely.
And
Because
I
these aren't
think-
things people would just scream if you were standing next to
No,
you. They're gonna
no,
take
not
to the
at
streets and
all.
press a button.
But like
Yeah.
the initial reaction is like anger. The initial reaction is like, you know, like I want to go back at you, fuck you, and that's what they want because then it fuels them to get more
Right.
attention. So if you ignore it or play around with it, and then the personal message thing when someone crosses the line, I found is like the way to go. I don't like to deal with things publicly. I really think like public call out, dealing with things publicly, adding someone is such like a cowardly thing to do because then you're asking for all your boys to jump in.
Well, you're not really
and-
doing it for the core reason, are you?
Exactly.
You're
You
doing
have,
it-
you have to
yeah.
look at your intention. What is your intention with this? If your intention is to truly squash this, handle it privately and work it out as adults. If your intention is to make a showcase and be like, I'm right because more people like my it's like, well, you're fucking, you stink.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you're fucking stupid.
On the boundary line, like I like that you're comfortable saying that. I like that you've realized that. I'm trying to think, and I'm sure you've done your fair share of roast shows, and they don't fucking matter at the end of the day anyway. If it is a roast show or something, or you're panelists on, you know, the roast of whatever in the future, which I mean, you've tied in with Nikki, you're gonna
Yeah.
be. I'm sure you've written for
Yeah.
a few. Yeah. Is that a line? Is that something? And again, we're talking about hokey, even roast battle on
Right.
Comedy Central, which I love. It's a hokey version.
That
it's not
that is
stand-up.
that is the thing, and I had to learn that by allowing it to be joked about. In a way, because I used to do the roast battles, and it actually kind of really helped me address these things because they're brought up, and if I react in a hurt way, it's not funny.
Right.
And I'm always funny first. I'm always do whatever you can do to best serve the joke. Do whatever you can do to heighten the laugh, to make the funny work. and the feelings are put on the back burner. So in dealing with these topics of someone making a brutal joke about my father, at the time, that is what I needed to do to face it, to deal with it, and to go, wow, this is a thing I've actually never really dealt with.
Yeah.
This is a thing that just got brought up, and I dealt with it in a deflected, whatever, like humor as armor way. Now let's take this and deal with this in a personal way and address it in a way that you've never, because it was something I never talked about. I never even, I would just almost like act like it didn't even have, whatever. But having jokes and humor be a thing to bring it to the forefront was so important. And then I found the power in not joking about it and dealing with it personally. And I really, I talk about a lot of personal stuff, but I really try to have like specific boundaries of, stuff just for me. And I feel like even in like the jokes I'm making now about it, I feel like I'm trying to deal with it in a way of like what it was like. Not even like, I never want him to be a joke. I never want that to be a joke. I want the joke to be not even the joke, but just the experience, finding the funny in the experience of the truth of losing adult as a child and how that affects you throughout your life.
Sets a charts a course. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
For you to tackle that too, that's impressive.
It's
as
taken
well,
27 goddamn years,
Right,
I
yeah.
mean, my dad's death is older than the chicks I end up banging. It's crazy.
Good for you.
You know?
On that
It's-
note, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
So you have a pretty diverse background from what I did see, as far as like you've got some writing credits.
Yeah.
Doing the broadcast stuff. You said you go on You Up, once a week?
Yeah,
Yeah, something like
once or
that?
twice a week. And then
Done
I'm
your
on
own
Jim and Sam
podcast?
every couple weeks in the
Yeah.
Bennington show, which is great, and then I do a ton of podcasts, which is great. I mean, my mom called me Lips when I was younger because I couldn't shut the fuck up. So it's nice I'm finally
great.
being able to fucking
That you can
make
actually
it worth my
exercise it,
while
yeah.
and live off of it.
Is
you know?
that especially in New York, where you can go do 10 things like that on a high level, too,
Yeah.
where you're not like just kind of wasting your time. But I mean, is that just the new normal for a comic trying to just blow the fuck up? You having 20
I
things
guess,
that you're good at?
man. I guess like I'm just trying to figure it out for myself, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to make a living as like a New York City comic, which is like crazy. You
I'm
know?
sure.
And that in and of itself is, I'm just trying to. I can't think about my future past my almost like 6-month avails. I can't even think about like what's your life gonna be like when you're 4. I'm like, I'll fucking blow my head off. I just got to think about June.
Yeah,
You know?
we got Phoenix. and
Yeah,
then we got LA.
yeah. I'm in San Diego and
Yeah.
I'm putting a Vegas and San Fran run together. Other than
Perfect.
that, I can't fucking think past that. And
Yeah.
if I just tackle the day, the week, the month, that is only, and that's what I'm finding works for me. It might be different for someone else, and I can only speak to my experience. And when people ask, like, well, what do I do? I'm like, look, man, I only know what I did, and I'm figuring out as we go along. So that's, the fun of it, too, is like, this is like the Wild West. We're all in the gold rush, and we're figuring out how to find it on our own.
It's crazy too. You have a weird perspective because you're at the Mecca, you're in New York, and you have legends, sandwiched in between just killers, legend, killer. Do you think I personally think it's a great thing. Do you think there's too much comedy right now? Like in St. Louis even, everybody's got bar show. I'm super happy for it because it's just
Yeah.
going to make the good stuff better. It's more
Right.
opportunities for people.
Well,
Do you
there,
feel like
there
comedy
is
as a
there
whole
is
like
a
that?
fear of like oversaturation in terms of like, well, I want to start a show at this Italian restaurant. Who can I get? Well, my budget's, $5 in spaghetti, but you will find people hungry enough to do it. And I've done it to where then people see that and they go, this is comedy? Ugh. And that might get in the way of whatever. But I also think, this might be like cheesy, whatever, but it's like the world is so fucked. Humor is the one thing it's like owning a funeral home. People are always going to need it.
Right.
People are always going to die. People are always going to need a place to look at their dead fucking uncle. People are always going to need a place to go to laugh, to forget about how soul-crushing reality is. So the business of funny is always going to be there. It's just about finding the model that works,
Very true.
Yeah.
Do you produce shows yourself? You don't mess with that anymore.
No, I've never been good at being a producer.
Yeah.
I've never been good at like putting stuff together. I always like fear no one will ever show up. That's like my, and then when people do and it like sells out, I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's a gross feeling. We've done some bigger shows that we'll put on, and then we do like weekly shows, right?
Yeah.
They're part of it, so we do it. We tie it into
Dude,
the podcast and all that.
stress.
It will be. I'm serious. Like opener's about to go up. I'm like, well, I'm canceling the contracts. I don't care that Jack Daniels is working with us. Who cares? It's over. I'm tired. I hate all of you people. And then halfway through the opener's set, like, oh, it's kind of full in here.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, fuck it. This is why I love. It's wild.
Well, it's
man.
like, dude, everyone's putting out albums and whatever. And I have such a fear of like no one showing up and
Right.
it just being like canceled and oh god, I should just go back to selling construction estimates.
I think you'd be good at that.
Right.
Would your sales numbers go up now
Oh
with your
my
skills and your
God.
wise demeanor?
Yeah. I'd be like, well, what is the intent of getting a new roof?
Let's
How will
break
this
this
how will
down.
this help you be a happier person today? Like,
bring
get
up a
off
good
my
point.
lawn. You know?
It's like,
But
I've had
like,
enough.
but dude, I have like a small EP coming out
Do you really?
that I just recorded on the sly at the cellar. I didn't tell anyone about it. It was just a regular set, and I didn't even know I was gonna fucking be like, this is what it is. But I just recorded a hot fucking set, and I'm in it
Congratulations,
serious. So they are putting the tracks out for me, and I'm fortunate enough that I have friends that are working with me to just pay labor or whatever instead of like having a label to go through and stuff. And so I have like 5
Taking
tracks.
it straight to serious.
Taking it straight to serious,
great.
getting all the money on the back end. I'm going to put out a little EP. I'm really fortunate that a lot of artists, because I'm like very involved in like music. Like I love music. Music's so important to me. And I
You
grew
like
up
the
in like the,
replacements, so I think I
I
respect
love
your
the
taste.
replacements,
Yeah,
man. But
yeah.
I grew up in the punk and hardcore scene. I was in a ska band. So like finding that niche community
Yeah.
of people that dig that, and I'm very much unabashedly a fan of ska, which is like something people just like speak about. It's like communism in the 50s. Like we have to be in private to talk about it.
Dude, MU330 is doing.
Oh
like
my
a show.
God!
They're from here.
MU330, Press, such a good album. Kong, they're from St. Louis.
They're from here.
Oh my God!
I want to say they did it. They're either doing
Music
or
Room
they did.
330. Oh, mulin
so
on
glad-
your stuff. Na, 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 na.
That's the only way I would have accepted you to react to that.
Ah!
That's fucking fun. That's
God,
great,
if
man.
you could have me Dan Pothouse, I'd skip the shows tonight.
I bet we can make that happen. Let me
Are
see.
you serious?
I'm gonna look into it. I'm not promising. I don't
Oh
know.
my
We'll
God.
see.
I love it.
Perfect.
But yeah,
That's
and
great,
so
man.
like artists that are involved in that, they make like mock up like me, like they've made my face into the Misfits logo and stuff, and I sell shirts like
fucking
that.
great,
So I think the album cover is either going to be a Sonic Youth mock up of Goo with I don't know if you know that, but the girl smoking and the guy.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be me and my cat.
Perfect.
And
I ran into Thurston at South by Southwest in 2007.
No
And of course,
way.
He's taller, but like I always it's weird to meet people when you're just like this big drunk guy or something at a
Yeah.
festival. But like that guy, we sat and like just ate like a grilled cheese on the street in South by Southwest, and he was so nice. It was so great. But I'll
how
always
cool
remember
are
that.
our lives?
It's fucking great.
You
isn't
know?
it? Yeah, it's neat to
We're
do that.
so lucky. It's so
Yes.
awesome.
Absolutely, it is.
That's
man.
great, man.
No, I love that too. Before we get out of here, some of your bands, just because you're into that, like
Yeah.
obviously Misfits. Who else you follow? We're the same age.
Yeah.
So like, my friends are like into Dead Kennedys and Descendants and stuff like that. Who are you
Operation
into?
Ivy,
Of course.
Spring Heel Jack, Pie Tasters,
Jack USA.
yes, Edna's Goldfish, Alkaline Trio.
How weird is it that Matt Skiba's in Blink-182 now?
Insane!
That's cool. Good for
Insane!
him. Make that jack,
Dude,
man.
Asian Man Records is like my favorite label.
Really?
I interviewed Mike Park for my old podcast.
No shit.
Which was like so great, I love like Madball. My favorite hardcore band of all time is a band from Philadelphia called Blacklisted.
Okay.
And also this like crazy rock shoegaze band called Nothing
Okay.
in Philly. They're great. And I don't know, man.
Who else is from Philly? There's a band, and okay, so you like legit stuff like that. I'm trying to think. Are the Men Singers from Philadelphia?
They are.
I enjoy them, and
Yes.
I haven't listened to new music. Like I'll listen to new music, but like they're one of those bands that I was like, wait a second, I like these guys. This sounds like stuff I would have listened to when I was younger. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. So like the album covers are either going to be that Sonic Youth mock-up or this guy Scott Johnson, more Guinness on Instagram, made me the Operation Ivy Energy.
Perfect.
But it says Ian Fidance, and it's me, and I'm smoking a cigarette. You know,
Yeah.
so it might be that. But it's yeah. I mean, dude, all that music like played such an important part in my life. You know, and it just shoots me back to like growing up and like feeling, you know, I ride my bike around the city and I play music on a stereo, and I'll play like 311 and like this great band from Delaware called Year of the Knife. So it's like, so I'm bipolar, I'm manic depressive, and my music is definitely like that. Like I'll have like
Right.
Metallica's Orion, and then it'll be like, you know, like Willow Smith, I whip my hair back and forth, you know, and I'm like, ha ha ha, I'm a little gay boy, you know.
It's just feeding you.
Yeah, and then it's like, you know, like Macedon just like jamming down, going over the bridge, and
that's
I'm
the
like,
way you
yeah!
know. Man, that's the way you gotta be, dude. You
Yes.
gotta switch it up. I think people enjoy that too because people get so caught up. You ever like in a car with or at a party with somebody who wants to hear 40% of every shitty, like I don't want to pick on like techno. I'll just say techno, but like every shitty like club mix.
Oh my
40
God!
seconds of it, and they're like, next,
Dude,
I'm like,
this
you don't
chick,
like this.
this chick I'm with is, you know, finger fucking the iPod
Come on,
every
man.
20 seconds.
Let's hear the
playing this
outro.
like emo rap, and I'm like, what the fuck?
You don't actually like that music. You
I hate it.
No, I'm saying she doesn't. She's not.
You want real emo? Put on Thursday.
Thank you.
Put on
God.
Saves the Day. Through Being Cool. Let's fucking jam out.
Rocks, tonics, juice, magic.
Yes,
Come on.
Hollyhocks, forget me nots. Sell all my clothes. I'm off to heaven.
You fucking brought up Thursday and Save
Dude,
the Day.
oh my God, I found this out. Okay, so Saves the Day's first 4 albums tell a story. Okay.
16 when they started? Do you remember
Yeah,
that? They
yeah,
were so
16 New
young.
Jersey. They went to NYU. Oh my God. Okay, so it's I can't slow down. I'm Through Being Cool. Oh wait, hold on. What are their first
Look
4
it up.
albums
Look it
called?
up. Yeah, it's
They-
Can't Slow
they-
Down.
they
Through
tell-
Being Cool. I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
Oh my God. I hope you edit this so I don't look like such a herb. Oh my God. Okay. Oh. It's I can't slow down. I'm Through Being Cool, so stay what you are.
Yes.
Well, that was
They're
worth
from
it.
Jersey. we gotta do that. Man.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
So I'm only gonna tell.
I gotta tell you, you vandal.
I'll tell you this just because, like, I don't know. Did you ever get into the Ataris at all? Whenever we were going, they were a
Vaguely,
little,
yeah,
poppy,
yeah.
probably. For
Oh
you,
wait,
too.
didn't they have a San Dimas High School
Yeah,
football rock?
you probably
rules?
like that. Yeah. San Dimas High School football
Yeah.
rules. Yeah. Long story short, and I told this in front of like 2,000 people at a theater where we did a live podcast with Adam Carolla, actually.
Yeah.
And this is a story I've told before, but it's super quick. My first time like on stage, period. Like we started the show. It's crazy. He asked us to do this. 2,000 people, this beautiful theater. And I'm out there with him, and I'm looking, and all I can see is my mom in like the 4th row. You know how a theater like shrinks when you're on
yeah,
stage.
yeah.
So I was like, but I got to bring this story. I've been listening to Carolla since I was like Loveline when I was
Yeah.
like 12.
Oh my
right?
God, Love Line.
Dude, that shit was so good, man.
I used to wait and jerk off to someone that sounded hot on the phone talking about their pussy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, and hopefully they didn't have herpes.
Yes. Just block that out like a
Oh,
a
God.
car ride with an uncle.
Oh.
Anyway.
So I'm up on stage. I tell the story, but long story short, I somehow befriended the singer of the Ataris, right? And when I was like 20 or 19, he was dating a girl in the college town, and I'm like, it's this weird, like, strange thing.
Yes.
He was like a buddy. So we're in St. Louis one night, which is like 2 hours from where I went to college, and we go to a Cardinals game. I get a text. This is when texting wasn't even that serious. And he's like, hey, let's hang out. I'm coming through with this girl. Maybe there's a strip club we could all meet up at. I'm like, fuck yeah, strip club?
Yeah!
Like, of course, like fame hungry, 21-year-old me.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, let's hang out with the cool guy.
Is it at Warp Tour?
I was like, will you sing to me while we're
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
So we end up, and I'm like, oh, well, let's go to this super safe, like very well-known strip club. And, he's like, he's like, not being weird. People kind of recognize me. It's a strange thing. Let's go to this one. So we go to, are you familiar with East St. Louis? Like, it's,
No, but I've heard
it's the worst.
stories.
Yeah. It's very, there's some bad stuff happening. So we go past East St. Louis to this Brooklyn, Illinois, this club. And we, at the time, like, it wasn't that common. There were no streaming services. You just have, like, iTunes Music. Either way, we pay the DJ like $80 or something between like 10 dudes. Like, our friend's coming in, Playboys of Summer. Whenever he comes in, he gets embarrassed because that's what he's known for,
Oh
right?
my
Because
God.
of that cover.
Yeah.
So he walks in. He walks in. He was a huge Black Flag fan. He put in. So I saw a Black Flag sticker on a Cadillac. There you go. In that song instead of Deadhead.
Yeah, that's right.
So we pay him. He gets pulled up on stage. They give him the bachelor party treatment. We're like, haha, this will be silly.
Yes.
This song's playing. It doesn't end there. He gets all of his clothes ripped, like down to like they're ripping his boxers off.
Yes,
He's
that's
naked
happened
on
to
stage.
me.
And it was like we were kind of like, ha.
They called it a hot seat in
Oh
Philly.
boy, do they? And it was getting where we were like,
Was she slapping him and shit?
all kinds. The belt.
Yeah!
The belt took his own
Oh, one
belt
time a
to
chick
him.
knocked my contact out.
Did you pick it
I
up?
said, I know you have a job to do, but please stop hitting me.
I can't see.
Yeah.
I can't see, and I've had a pink guy ever since. So he's up there and everything. Then one chick comes up and then takes her whole hand and like goes into the other chick, and then there's this. We're all like, "What's happening?" Look, end of the story. It's like a fire hose coming out for like 30 seconds.
What?
It was the most disgusting, amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. All while his own song. God, yes, yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's to the Ataris. Yeah.
Wow, what a
That's what Pop
surreal
Punk is.
Moment.
Very, very, and it's like they're like handing him his clothes. Like it has to like look like what a shitty porn set
Oh,
looks
God.
like afterwards. Like it was pretty unbelievable. And then they do like a shower show after. It was fucking crazy. But
Oh.
yeah, that's my little brush with pop punk stuff,
Incredible.
right? Isn't
I
that
love
ridiculous?
it.
Yeah.
Amazing. The
Sure you
Ataris
didn't.
will never sound the same to me.
I don't think they had to.
I
sound a
know.
certain
I
way
will
to you
only be
anyway.
able to masturbate to the Ataris from now
I'm
on.
proud of you. for that. So you got the album coming out. We need to look forward to that.
Yeah.
Selling out shows everywhere with the Tell. Are you touring? You headlining soon?
I am, yeah. I'm going to be at American Comedy Company in San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah.
Uh,
Is that the one that Tony Rock had the weird thing at?
I don't
That's
know.
Not, I don't think. Does the American Comedy Company have a notoriously crazy manager? Maybe not.
I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to look into that. There was a
I'm just
whole-
excited to be at the club.
That's what I like to hear.
Yes. I'm going to be
you're gonna be-
headlining
yeah.
Laugh Boston, the Woo Ha Ha in Worcester, Massachusetts,
Okay, we're
Port
big in
City
Worcester.
Theater in
Yeah.
Maine, and
areas like
Vermont
that?
Comedy Club.
Very
Coming up
nice.
all in March, April, May, Wisecrackers in Wilkes-Barre, and American Comedy
States
Company.
like Vermont too, and this is just ignorance coming through. States like Vermont, Maine, stuff like, do they come out hard for comedy shows? Like, I can't imagine
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a ton to do
Oh,
in those
yeah.
areas. Like, you probably feel like that about St. Louis too.
They're
but
great crowds.
Yeah,
man.
I bet.
They really come out and
those are your people too. Like, kind
yeah.
of blue collar Northeast. Side,
Yes,
right?
I
Yeah.
love it. It's so funny, man, because like I feel like I talk about some like real wild shit on stage, and like the flyover states like dig it, and then I talk about like going to glory holes in like Brooklyn, and they're like, "What is that? How do you know? That's not what I want to hear. You should have a lisp and talk about RuPaul's Drag Race."
Right.
I'm like, "Well, I'm not
You're
like that."
confusing me.
Yeah.
Right. Wait, are those still happening?
Glory
Glory
holes?
holes?
Yeah, dude.
No way.
I'm the king of them down on 8th
Get out of town.
Avenue.
See,
Why do you
this is
think I
what-
live in the city? Huh? Ride my bike back and forth.
Good for you. What,
Yeah.
you bring the boombox into the glory hole?
Yeah, I put on
Nice.
the Ataris.
Yes. Ian, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks, man. This is
Absolute
such
pleasure.
a blast, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to Mia Jackson.
Mia Jackson, an
Boom.
angel without wings. Yes. And I have all my dates, and I put up really funny videos and stuff on Instagram. I actually put up the conversation with that Saint Lunatic, and my Instagram's at ianimal, IANIMAL.
I'll share it. We'll keep it coming. And
Yeah.
St. Louis, you'll have to come back and headline, man.
I love it, man.
Absolutely.
Love
Thanks,
it.
Ian.
Thanks so much.